Button is hit.
I just tweeted everybody poops.
I tweeted it out, Jaffe.
All right, thank you much.
Hashtag everybody poops.
Beds.
Hey, we want to say hi to everybody watching live, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Real Deal Xbox Podcast. You know it, every week right here at this time. We've got the creator of God of War. I've done a show with him. Fonz just did a show with him. This guy's a blast to have on. We got him as a special guest. We'll come back to that. We got, of course, the best chat in the universe and a bunch of great topics. So thanks for joining me, guys. Of course, hit the like button, retweet this thing, help us out a little bit as we do roll into some shout-outs and topics here, man. But, hey, Fonzarelli, buddy, how you been?
I've been fantastic, man. Just got back, actually just got in from work, and I'm tired as hell. But Jaffe's here tonight. He's going to, entertain us all, and we're going to have a great time.
And, too, I got to say, too, there's people out there that don't know us and think we've said a bunch of shit we never said. There's people out there that think the same thing about Jaffe. There's polarizing figures, and that's not a bad thing at all. I consider myself to be one of those fucking things. But I want to say that if you got a preconceived notion, or, if you're not, someone got mad at us earlier, like this happens all the time. We have a guest on the show. Doesn't matter who you are. Like somebody isn't a fan of somebody, right? And it sucks to see because you don't even wait to see and see how the discourse is going to go and see what we're going to talk about. Or even probably even have watched the show with the guest before. So just give it a shot. And, of course, guys, let us know your thoughts as we do roll in there. Because Jaffe, he's a blast to do podcast with, man. You just got to chill out and hang out with us a little bit here. But, D-Batch, buddy, how you been? It's another week, another RDX.
I'm good, man. I got to be honest. Glad to be here, especially this week because I just got over COVID. Or I should say the Rona. It was a rough 2 days. The whole family got it except for the missus. She avoided it, but the kids and I were sick. We're happy to be over it. If I could say anything to anybody out there, continue to wear your mask. It's still out there. And I'm just thankful that I'm through the fire. And we got some fire topics this week, and we got a fire guest on the show. So let's get on with it.
Yeah, D-Batch is back. We've also got Zalker87, buddy. How you been?
Doing good, man. Glad to be here with Jaffe, the guy that made me buy a PS2 with God of War. Fuck you. Right. Yeah, you did. I got it. And it was
I know.
One of my favorite
on behalf of all of us who made it, thanks for buying it, man. Appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah, of course. And so, yeah, glad to be here. We have a shit ton of topics, a lot of stuff to talk shit about, and just talk in general about games. And if you don't like that and you don't like being constructive or criticized or anything, then exit the stage left. Late.
Shout out to Bald Thanos, by the way. He says, I'm new here. Hi.
Hey, Thanos, don't snap your fingers.
I've seen you before, buddy. But again, guys, shout out to everyone here. Hit the like button. Tell a buddy about the channel and the show. Hey, we've got Daru seeds.
What the fuck? Zucker, here's your glitter-covered cash, bro. Glitter-covered? Bitch, you know I do some good dances. You know you like it. I don't want to hear it.
Hey Daru, shout out to you, buddy. $150 super chat. I'm not gonna do that thing where, oh my God, can anyone go higher? But yeah, I mean, definitely. I saw crazy shit going down on Culture yesterday. But again, we got to give a shout out to everybody.
Say, can you go higher? That's
no, they just had like a war, and I was like, damn, y'all just paid Colt's fucking mortgage. What the hell? Like, what's going on?
Oh my God! But yeah, shout out to you, Daryl. Seriously, everybody that contributes, all that good stuff. But we got a bunch of good topics. I keep saying it, but Jaffe, man, thanks for joining us, brother. It's a pleasure to do another show with you, man, and I'm glad you're here.
I appreciate you having me. I'm glad I'm here too. Like I was saying to you guys at the beginning, I was mentioning to some people on a stream I was doing that I'm coming on this show, and somebody's like, that's the biggest Xbox podcast there is. And I said, because I only listen to like Colin's show is the only video game podcast I listen to for the most part. And so I was like, I don't go out of my way to listen to other podcasts, but I'm like, oh, that's an honor. What a neat thing to be here. So thank you for having me on this esteemed, little afternoon we're having. Good to see you guys.
Welcome, man. We call people fuckface here, and we have fun. And
we do fuck sticks. Fuck sticks.
But definitely, again, I think the people that watch, they're tired of kind of the same old. So we just kind of throw it off the wall and see what sticks and have fun here. But again, guys, we do got some topics. There's some shout outs, and I just want to thank everyone that has showed up already, guys. We know it's a slow time of the year, but our goal is to make that the most entertaining that we possibly can, right? Oh, yeah. So big shout out to some of these guys in the patron tier, by the way. Nerdy Meathead, shout out to you, buddy. Boba Fett Gaming, Dub Mobile, Ruben Almighty, Dave Incubus, Fault Lines, Ricky Falons, Not Silik, Bad Boy Live, Achievement, Nano Polymaz, Zordon, Costanza, KY Bob, Goose 8402, Strike, Alifa, Assassin, Lupa, Foreign Object, Gab, Queez, Teo, John Blue, Vec Boss, Real Deal Neil, Suicide King, Taste of Genie, Michael Bowen, Guillermo Kivio, Alfonso Hogan, All Might, Dark CMF. Shout out to you guys. Thanks for sponsoring each and every episode. That is the shout out tier. By the way, I guess we can start with this. Is Tim here, by the way? Maybe he said he wasn't.
No, he said his mom.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
I think he's getting a new car. He said.
Oh, he's buying a new car. That's right. That's right.
Again?
Well, it's used. It's a 1981 Datsun V10, but it's the tires are new. The tires are new.
Hey, leave Tim Dog alone, all right? Hey, but you know what we don't have to leave alone here is PlayStation Premium. We all know it's kind of Sony's answer, quote unquote, to Game Pass. Not quite, in our opinion. It's not yet, anyway. Not until day and date's a thing. But they did announce that some Ubisoft Classic titles, 27 to be exact, are going to be in the service. Like I said before, guys, like they're going to be adding more and more to this, and that's why it didn't make a lot of sense at launch. This is a major step in the right direction. They've also announced some first-party titles from Sony as well. I guess we can start with Jaffe. What was your first thoughts? You're well versed on the Game Pass and PlayStation Premium. You know, the fact that competition is more important than anything. What were your thoughts when you saw this, and what do you think PlayStation Premium needs to do better, or maybe you think what does Game Pass need to do better?
Well, yeah, I mean, I saw the list. I guess it was yesterday, the day before, and you know, it's most impressive. I think it's very impressive if you are a certain kind of gamer, if you are in the ecosystem of PlayStation already, but you haven't, for whatever reason, you know, gone into that library that they're offering, even at the basic tier. I think it's at the basic tier. Their naming system is so horrible. It's so fucking horrible.
And you're talking about PlayStation Premium?
Yeah, I don't know why they don't just go, okay, this is silver, gold, and platinum. Because I don't mean to take the piss, but I'm just like, when you guys said, okay, let's talk PlayStation Premium, I'm like, okay, wait, is that the basic one? I think Essential is PlayStation Essential, which is almost a direct conversion from
you're
what
right.
you have now.
It's Essential, Extra, Premium, and then there's like extra cheese.
It's
extra,
so
I don't know what the fuck. There's so many
extra mayonnaise.
But you know, it's not as, you know, it's whoever got fired from Microsoft for choosing Xbox X and Xbox S, that person was hired by Sony and they came over and named this shit. That's what I think happened.
Hey, look, you got to admit, it could be a lot worse. Okay, they could still be producing that old shit. I mean, what are your thoughts on PlayStation Premium? In regards to
I know. So I mean, I'm, you know, I had a lot of responses is my point, but I think the main library that they offer for everybody, because I think that's part of the Essential, that has gotten better. They've brought some PS5 games in. They've got a little bit more of an impressive third-party group in there. So yeah, I think if you're brand new to Sony or you're kind of peripherally engaged with Sony's ecosystem, there's a huge amount of value there. And whatever tier you're talking about, I think, and I had PS Now and I barely touched it, right? And PS Now had more games than this has. But I think when you see it on a list like this, you're like, wow, that's fucking cool. That's fucking impressive. And I honestly think it, I love Game Pass, though. I mean, I have said over and over, I think Game Pass is not just a great business move if it works, but it has the opportunity to literally make the art form of games better. I adore what they're trying to do. I was hoping to see Sony, and I'm sure they'll have to eventually dip their foot more into what Game Pass is. But I think coming this Christmas, if you walk into a store, unless Phil Spencer walks on the stage in a couple of weeks and says, I opened up the checkbook, we've got Gotham Knights Day 1, Call of Duty Day 1, and Harry Potter Day 1, not exclusive, because they can't do that right now, but and they can't do that on those three games at all right now based on deals that have already happened. But to say you're going to have an awesome fucking Christmas if you have Game Pass, short of that, I think going into a store this Christmas, actually, even though it's not, optically, the PlayStation thing looks better than Game Pass right now.
The only thing I'd have to say to that, Jaffe, is if you're a new gamer, it looks like it has a lot of value.
Oh,
If
right.
you're
That's
new to
if you're
PlayStation.
peripherally in the if you're peripherally in the ecosystem of PlayStation, or you're brand new, it looks better. I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, I don't
Well,
have
like-
any intention to subscribe to the highest tier because I played all those games.
Papa
The
Baco,
one
shout out
thing I
to
have to
Papa
say-
Baco and a few of these guys in the chat, guys. Boba Fett Gaming. We got to give a shout out to the mods as well. Boss Molly, the Papa 9 Lives, Bald Thanos, as well as Devon G, only on Xbox, and so many other guys that are powering the show, guys. Thank you very much.
Can
Tell
I ask
everybody
you a
to
fast
live.
question about Bald Thanos real quick?
Yes, you can.
The guy, I don't know if he's off his meds. The guy literally in the chat said he's excited that Amber Heard's going to be single soon. I think this is a problem. I think you need to worry. Bald Thanos.
Hey, leave Bald Thanos alone. He's living his best life.
I'm not. I'm trying to help him. Don't
Maybe
fucking
like-
date the woman, or if you do, make sure she sleeps like in the dog cage.
Just bring
We're
some tissues,
strapped
Bald
on
Thanos.
pillows.
You're going to be all right, all right?
Yeah.
Just bring
Maybe he
some
likes
tissues.
shit. Don't be hating on him, Jack.
That's true. There's a scat contingent out there. You're right. You're right.
But moving back
Hey,
on
Bald
topic
Thanos,
after
thanks for watching,
talking
man.
yeah. Thanks, Bald Thanos. Never see you again.
And
as
canceled.
for the PlayStation,
No, don't
Premium.
Bald Thanos is like, wait, shit, that's acceptable now. Scat's acceptable. Anyway, I'll shut up. Go ahead.
Bald Thanos knows better. Go ahead, Zucker.
I was going to say that. God damn it! How do we even transition from the shit?
Well, just keep
so
going.
The PlayStation Premium thing. The most impressive thing of it was the first party games. They put almost 40 first party games on there, if not more. It's like, I don't know. Do you not see that? Like that to me, all the third party games, it's cool, but most of them are pretty old. I played them before, and Marvel Guardian of the Galaxy, I think, is the most recent one. Everything else, I'm kind of like, whatever. I've played those, but they're first party games. It's like, take the fucking hint. Put your first party games in there. That's the most impressive thing I saw in there. Not to mention they went back on the back and pat shit where some of the games, if you own them digitally, you don't need to play them back and pat games through the service. They said they're going to put some of them on the store. They're going to put some of them out there. It's like, holy shit, you actually listened. Like that's actually a pretty good. That's like, this is not even just like, this is 4 steps in the right direction. The next thing is like putting your games on there day and date, like Xbox does. That's going to take time. And I hate, kind of unfairly, we compared this service to Game Pass, which has been around for 5 years. So this is just starting, right? Like over the next couple of years, we'll see how it transitions. But in the 6 months or whatever, 4 months they've been talking about this and putting it together, they made some pretty impressive changes. And I give props to them. Tip my hat.
I don't think it has. I don't think this didn't just start though. This was PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus separately, just combined. And they've been doing this for longer. I know they did, but Game Pass has added things since launch. I mean, that's just how it works. I mean, at the end of the day, they've been doing this longer than Game Pass, and they've seen things that Game Pass has done. And I think, hey, you got to look over at somebody who's, doing things and getting numbers and making, revenue profits there, and borrow some ideas. There's nothing wrong
By
with
the
that.
way, though, dealer, they kind of did something. Ubisoft, anyway. This Ubisoft Plus classics going in there. They did exactly what I thought they were going to do, and kind of
Explain that to
bastardize
people.
Ubisoft Plus. You've got Ubisoft Plus on other platforms, well, on PC, and you have their full catalog basically. Here, you just have the classics, and I knew they were going to go
But there
down
are some
that
good
road.
games in there, like Valhalla and stuff
but
like that, right?
But they're not the new stuff, and I knew they were going to do this for console. It's just the same
It's
thing
not
that
close to
EA did.
Ubisoft Plus. It's
Yeah,
not
it's-
close
it
to
sucks.
Ubisoft.
Y'all are
It sucks.
toxic.
It's exactly what I pointed at. I
No,
said,
and it's not
this is
even
gonna
EA
happen.
Play. It's not even as good as EA
No.
Play because EA
But-
Play
but
has a lot of
Ubisoft-
those.
Ubisoft Plus though is supposed to be coming to both Xbox and PlayStation separately than Ubisoft Classic, correct?
Yeah, is it a separate thing that you can just invest in? And the classic thing's just something they're throwing into premium, right?
I believe so because
Yeah,
I
I
had
think
Ubisoft Plus over on Luna and Stadia, and that was like over a year ago. So it's been threatening to come to the main consoles for a while. I don't know what's holding it up, but
Hey,
Yeah,
hey, Jaffe. Hey, Jaffe.
Yeah.
How's that Stadia?
Stadia is technically a phenomenal streaming
Is it dead
experience.
yet?
I don't know. I don't play it anymore.
Oh, okay. I think it's dead. I think it's dead.
But I mean, again, let me look. Stadia. What I was excited about with Stadia, now with XCloud, Game Pass is there, right? What? I mean, there's a whole infrastructure issue of why that fell apart over at Google. But when Phil Harrison stood on stage and Jade Raymond stood on stage, and it was like, okay, what? And Shannon Studstill from Santa Monica went over there. What they were promising was awesome.
That's
but
easy to do, though.
Well, Yes, I know. But ultimately, though, they couldn't deliver it. And that's sort of one of the things that Xbox came along and is delivering it much better. But that's kind of one of the things I say about Game Pass all the time. And people kind of get up my butt about it. And I'm like, I had a guy, I can't tell you his name, you know who he is, but I had a very high ranking Xbox guy write me right before the show. And he was like, let me see if he's written me back. He was, defending. He's like, Jaffe, I don't like how you kind of went off on Phil. And I made it very clear. I said, look, I'm a huge fan of what Phil has done. I don't dislike the guy at all. I think he's a visionary. I think he is exactly what that console needs. I think he can be a disruptor. I just think he needs help with management.
So why are people so pissed about that? If that's
hang on, or they're going to be in the same situation, not that Stadia's in, but Stadia was this beautiful promise they couldn't deliver. Game Pass could be even worse in that it's this amazing promise, and we've seen it kind of work every now and then when a great game comes to it. And I play it all the time because I love the indie games and I love the AA games. I'm playing Loot River right now, which is phenomenal. But if they can't get on the cadence of releasing games, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant how great the plan is.
I don't think that's even a possibility, though. I think it definitely will happen. Like, we've all talked about the delay of Starfield and all that stuff. I made a couple of videos about it. I mean, but inevitably, these things, like it or not, are going to come out. And, I kind of keep telling myself, as shitty as the Starfield delay is, and again, if you watch my video, you know how stupid, just upset, and just, it really fucking sucked. But at the end of the day, when I look back, and when I'm playing it, I say it all the time, there's no such thing as a bad game delay. I know they keep hitting, or, they happen, and we're all let down by that, but, you want to play something that is a finished, polished product, and I say this, I've been saying it for years and years, but it doesn't change the fact that it is disappointing. But ultimately,
I don't think
anybody
who's listening to what I'm saying and thinks my criticism of Phil Spencer has to do with the delay of Starfield isn't listening to what I'm saying.
And that's why I brought that up, because I heard people were mad at you about that. They thought it was around Starfield and stuff. But what I'm hearing isn't so controversial at all. Add some better management, not replacing Phil, in my opinion, at least. But get some people there to help out, keep oversight on all these studios.
There are plenty of examples of executives in the industry, especially in the movie industry, that, like I said to this guy at Xbox, I'm like, he needs, in my opinion, because the writing seems to be on the wall, he needs a yin to his yang. Not everybody's good at everything. He has a great vision. He's clearly an amazing executive. The guy at Xbox who wrote me was like, we love him. He's a breath of fresh air. He's the best manager we've worked for in terms of getting along and being a gamer. But he may not be the guy, given how chronic the management issues at Microsoft seem via looking at the consistent product issues, whether it's Halo or the Initiative or Undead Labs or now Bethesda, even though I know he wasn't managing it at the time. It just seems like, my God, Phil, you're so fucking close to this amazing thing that all the elements came together at exactly the right moment, and all you've got to do is get it across the finish line, and you're going to change the art form. That's how much I believe in Game Pass and in subscription gaming. But this is, I'm not worried. It's not my life. I don't lose or make any money off it. But as a gamer and as someone who loves video games, I'm like, come on, man, you're so fucking close. Don't drop the ball now.
Yeah, it's not the delays. It's not the delay of Redfall or Starfield. That's not like Dealer just said. It's more of the high level thing where you saw the potential of Game Pass. You see the potential of what Xbox can do to the industry. And it's more about being like, hey, cool, if you have to delay this, have contingencies. Have something where you're consistently bringing shit out for us to play.
But that's where us waiting literally a few weeks might come to say, hey, look, guess what? We do have a game. Whether you play Forza Motorsport or not, or whether you play, option B or not, we're still doing exactly what you say. We got some things that are not announced, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. I just feel like
I think last
every
year
time of the year, every year, about this time, people lose sight of the fact that there is an event in like literally a few weeks.
Well, that wasn't the point is that wasn't the case last year. Last year it was like Outriders, MLB The Show. It was like bam, bam, bam. It was like, holy shit, this is getting kind of crazy.
Game Pass
and then
stuff?
The show, but yeah, third party locking stuff down.
That's what
and
you're
then
gonna
all
hear.
of a sudden the game show. Like, I get that. I hope, like, just like Jaffe said, if Gotham Knights or whatever, Harry Potter gets locked down, whatever the hell it is. But either way, last year it was that. Then we had the best E3 we've ever had from them by far.
Yeah.
And then 5-6 months of a game releasing on Game Pass pretty much every single fucking month.
Mhm.
Like
It was
everything,
nice.
like it was so many games, and people were just like, "This
And
is
I
what
told
it
you
could be."
that's what they're gonna do, bro. Every year, every month they don't have a first party game, just like this month with Sniper Elite 5. That's the biggest game releasing this month, pretty much. I mean, you know, they're gonna try to lock down a third party game like
How
that.
dare you slight
I want-
Yomi, bitch.
Why is everybody?
D, I want to come back to you, brother. We got to get a few of these guys in super chat. Zalker, can you grab these guys? I just want to give a big shout out to over 1,000 people already watching live, guys. Hit the like button. Tell a buddy or two about the show. We do appreciate you. We got the fantastic David Jaffe here. And, you know, again, fantastic discussion. Thanks for you guys that are tuning in.
Yeah, we got Face 23 Brooklyn. He says, "What Sony showed off the games on the list? That's not everything. They are putting more games in it."
Yeah. And
Yeah,
and just
I mean, that's
because
not
you don't
everything.
know about games that are coming out the later part of this year, don't mean Sony don't got no games coming out the later part of this year, you know? So it goes, you know, that's everything.
Same person,
Works both ways. Yeah.
Face 23 Brooklyn. He says, "Because of a specific thing that happened on Twitter the other day, I see PlayStation people signing up to be an Xbox ambassador. Lol. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, no matter what, you know, that's the thing, man. We deal with a lot
I
of guys.
signed my dog up and he got accepted. I'm just letting you know.
Hey, we deal with
He's
a lot
chewing
of guys.
on it. He's chewing on an Elite controller right now in the living room. That's all I'm letting you know.
But it was Frito. It was Frito, right?
Oh well, yeah, of
Oh,
course.
perfect. We deal with a lot of guys that are, you know, they're really, I don't know, man. When you call people out for not playing games but trying to be an ambassador and all this shit, we'll never not do that and just act like, you know, some fake shit instead of doing what we think is right. So that was definitely fucked up. I know what you're talking about, Zalker. Somebody on Twitter getting called out for that kind of stuff. I don't know, chat. I'm sure some of you guys saw
Well,
it. But,
Brooklyn said, "I'm just reading." What do you mean, Czar?
I know you know what I mean. Go ahead. You could do.
No, there's no more. I can't go further. That's
There's-
all we got, bitch.
There's
There
definitely
ain't
more.
Colt Eastwood. No, I don't know. I can't. Like, I can't see anymore, bro. Like, legit.
Okay, well, Russell in the Super Chest has got a question for this panel. If Microsoft were to shadow drop a game at their... So, I mean, that is another possibility, guys. Because
See,
I was...
that's-
Go ahead.
Go
D.
ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, people realize that every year Microsoft gives us a surprise announcement of a game that we weren't expecting to come out. So although like it's uber disappointing that Starfield's being delayed, that Redfall for some people is being delayed. I get it. It sucks. I know some people aren't going to want to hear this, but honestly, there's so many titles in Game Pass. There's so much stuff that's coming from EA Play and that's in that service to hold us over. And let's just be honest. The Xbox ecosystem has not been sustained by all of the new releases since launch, and it's been doing remarkably good. I'm not trying to downplay the delay because it sucks, but I would not be surprised on the June 12th event that we have Forza. I'm pretty sure that Forza is going to get announced for this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was another, you know, smaller title, maybe like a AA title that is also coming out for this holiday season. So I wouldn't be so all doom and gloom yet. And also too, third-party deals. I'm pretty sure with the situation that Microsoft is in now with the delay of Starfield, that they're probably going to have to secure a good third-party deal for the service this holiday season.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's all doom and gloom.
Well, Russell
Well,
on the thing as well. Russell's basically saying, what game might they shadow drop as well? You got to remember, they have
Stalker 2.
Stalker 2 got delayed until late this year. That was before the war, right? But the Age of Empires, right? KY Bob, we were talking in the party last night, and he was saying he thinks they're going to drop 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the console, right? That's a possibility, but we know that the newest one is coming to console. We know that. So they'll probably announce that there. We also got Deathloop, which was on PS5 last year. That will probably hit Xbox this year. And then who knows when Ghostwire Tokyo, what the window like that is, right? So...
do any of those games that you just mentioned excite you? None of those are exciting to me.
They don't.
No.
I'm just
Right.
saying. I'm just answering the question.
And let me also say this real quick about that. I think you're right. They're going to have to get some third party stuff, but I don't think this was planned because two reasons. One is when you've got that, like, what was the PR value then if they knew 2 days later they were going to be canceling that they released that picture of Phil and Todd Howard out at Bethesda? Like, was that the meeting where they told Phil we're not going to make it, or was that sort of softening the ground to say, see, everything's great because we know in 2 days we're not going to release it? So that's a weird thing.
That or Phil told them, hey, you probably should push this back.
Could be. The other thing, though, is that Phil had a captive audience when he released his tweet about this is hard on the companies, it's hard on fans, it's hard on developers, but we're having to sort of delay these games. How much harder would it have been to write, but don't worry, whatever they call Xbox Nation, when Xbox fans,
Xbox
tune in
Nation,
whatever. But listen, seriously, tune in June 12th, because we're not going to let you down. You're going to have a great fucking Christmas. I can't tell you what's going on. You're going to be taken care of. There was no sense of, yeah, this sucks, and here's the shit sandwich, but here's the Oreo, milkshake dessert to wash it down with. You'd think they would have said something. I think they're scrambling like fuck right now, trying to lock some third party down. I don't think this was anticipated. It doesn't seem like it.
Well, Todd did say when he put it in ink, he said that it was a big decision. It wasn't just oh sure, I think they always knew they were kind of cutting it close. But ultimately, I guess we will see. By the way, Swan in the Super Chat says, been a while since I released the Super Chat. It kept getting delayed due to management issues. Do you think that we will see Forza Horizon 5 DLC soon? I absolutely do think we will see Forza Horizon 5 DLC soon. We need to. Mr. K, by the way, says, David Jaffe is my daddy. You got a kid in the chat there, Jaffe. And then, of course, shout out to everyone watching us live, guys. We're going to keep rolling through some of these topics, but Fonz, was there anything you wanted to add about this Ubisoft and adding to PlayStation Premium? It's a bit more of a value. Here's something that I noticed, Fonz.
Oh, it's a bit more of a value, but again, if you're somebody who hasn't played those games, like
that's what every service, though, Game Pass.
That's what's strange to me is the fact that it's all classic games, really. Like
but Valhalla's their newest game almost.
Yeah, there's nothing there that for us, the hardcore for sure.
But couldn't you say the same thing about Game Pass?
It's not something that we will be diving into.
I don't know. I just know that I wouldn't be saying that if Valhalla hit Game Pass. I wouldn't be saying that. I say that's great for people that haven't played it.
Yeah.
No. It's great for that. But I'm saying as a whole, if you look at the entirety of that list, there's nothing there that screams as a hardcore gamer, you must buy PlayStation Premium. It just doesn't scream.
It even has the Ghost of Tsushima director's cut in there.
Oh, we played that.
But that could be said about every game in Game Pass for somebody.
That's actually not. That's not true. That's why Game Pass is so fucking great, because it's every fucking month. It's like, what's that?
Tell them, Jaffe.
Is he saying day and date, basically?
Day and date. Look, all the stuff that Xbox Game Pass and PS Plus Extreme, whatever the fuck it's called, does is great. But the secret sauce, you can't really get around it, is the day and date.
Yeah.
It's not nobody subscribes to Netflix to watch
Plus did day and
a
date
fucking
as well,
movie
though,
from the
games.
90s.
There's some games, even one of your own games,
Shadow Warrior 3 and actually it's PS Now. Yeah, every now and then they do. And I thought when they dropped Shadow Warrior 3 on PS Now, that was going to be the beginning of going, all right, we can't necessarily do our first party day and date, but we're going to buy some exclusives for day and date because it's important. Yeah. And that's the first time I turned on PS Now in like 4 months.
Let me ask you a question, right? Because last time we did a show together, you told me that your one of your games, Drawn to Death, correct, was Sony signed a deal with you to release day and date in what service?
PS Plus.
And that game cost you $15 million to make, right?
A little less, but roughly.
And they paid you what was it, $6 million to launch in PlayStation
they
Plus?
paid half of that. I don't know if that was necessarily the contract that said we'll pay you half your budget, but it ended up being about a little more than half the budget.
Gotcha. See, that's interesting perspective, because that's something that people don't know how that stuff works, and you have some insight there.
Every game is different. Every game is different,
and that's the strength of the platform, is they can monetize you in different ways and in royalties, et cetera, et cetera. Have you been approached at all by anybody, Game Pass? Do you know the difference there between procedures or anything like that? No.
I know a couple of things that I've been sworn to secrecy on from people I have great respect regarding some of the insistencies that I guess Microsoft Publishing is starting to demand from their developers, at least first party, but that doesn't really have much to do with Game Pass. That's the only thing I really know in terms of how they're choosing to do business these days. But Game Pass, no, my guess would be everything's different. My guess is if they go to Warner Brothers and say, we want Harry Potter day one because we just lost Starfield, it'll be like, yes, but the executive who runs Warner Brothers, the entire thing, his wife is really into fucking dogs and she wants to fuck your dog. And Phil will be like, okay. I mean, what I'm saying is they can write their own fucking ticket. Whereas if it's like some small indie game, it's like, these are the terms, right? It's that. So my guess is it's the same thing there as it is with Sony. I mean, we don't fuck dogs at Sony, but we did.
I mean, hey, you don't know everyone there. Okay. But anyways, hey, I do want to.
You guys said this was light and off the cuff and everything, and now I think you're starting to go.
No, I just
holy fuck. We men every now and then you like throw out like a Full House reference.
It's the first time I had a dog fucker on the show. I just trying to.
I didn't fuck him. I was filming it. I didn't do the fucking.
All right. Well, anyway, I'm an animal person, right? And I just prefer not to think about it. A little different. I do want to thank 1,200 people watching this live already, though, guys. Hit the like button, tell a buddy or two about the show. We do appreciate you. Again, David Jaffe, if you just missed it, he does say he released a game of PlayStation Plus, correct? And they paid around half the development budget for that game's development, and that was a day and date title. That's just one example of how somebody may or may not get paid on PlayStation Plus. Game Pass. I don't know. For everything we're hearing, David, it's a good time. Like, people seem to be happy. They're signing these deals, obviously. I'm not saying all of them are perfect, but by large, everyone is saying positive things about joining Game Pass, the engagement, the sales even going up because of, seeing everyone on your friends list playing Guardians of the Galaxy.
I know there's some outliers. People, Guardians is fucking great. Guardians is one of the
amazing.
Well, it's also one of the great poster childs for why subscription services are so great. It's exactly the thing that we saw and sometimes still see with movies, where a movie comes out that's great, but for whatever reason it releases in a bad window, it doesn't connect, and then it hits Netflix or Apple TV or wherever you get your movies, whether you buy them or rent them or what have you, and it becomes a thing. It becomes, let's make a sequel now. Let's, that's how the first one I remember seeing that with was Austin Powers back in the 90s. It was like it totally flopped at the box office, and it found life on DVD and it became this huge fucking franchise. So the fact that Guardians has found an actual appreciative audience and it's a great game, what else do you need to know, man? It's just great. It's just great that it's doing really, really well.
Definitely. By the way, Hargeet Chaney is dropping some codes in the chat. If you guys want some free games, Hargeet to Santa Hargeet's in the chat, dropping some codes here soon. But Zucker, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, he's completely right. Like a lot of things during streaming services like that show You on Netflix, like flopped on the network, and then it went on Netflix and became like a sensation. Same with like Lucifer. It got dropped. Netflix picked them up, became a sensation. Like all those other little things like that, like Guardians of the Galaxy, again, they found the people, but that studio was not making a lot of money for Square Enix, apparently, when you look at their profit margins.
They're always disappointed, though.
Bro, they're like always disappointed. Like,
only 100 million. Fuck you.
Fuck you, you suck.
Well, do you know? I think the president is the one who always said that, right? The Square Enix president. What is the term he used? It was below expectations.
Yeah, he said that for every single game.
Every single time he fucks his wife, that's what happens.
Oh my God.
Okay. And she's like, it's below expectations. And I think it's like he's projecting a little bit.
You just got to go with no expectations, Jaffe. That's just the rule of thumb.
I'm not fucking his wife. I'm saying that's what she's saying to him.
Hey, Zucker, you want to get Chinooki guy?
All I know is that Jaffe doesn't fuck at all. I'm just saying,
I said I don't fuck dogs.
Well, Naughty Dog has entered the chat.
You guys are really buttoned up here at Xbox.
There's too much dog fucking going on right now.
No, I need to loosen bitches up. This is crazy. I heard you guys were like the bad boys of Xbox.
Look, we definitely are, but we're not into dog fucking. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm not into it either. Do you remember that guy, Robbie Bach, who was like the geekiest geek of geeks, and then suddenly he comes out like he went on a fucking makeover show, and even straight guys were wanting to fuck this guy, and it's like, what the fuck happened to that guy?
Jaffe had some urges, chat. That's all he's saying right now.
Do you think he kept it up? Like, do you think somebody should do a Kickstarter video and be like, where is he now? And
I think that's D-Batch's next video, actually.
Yeah, has he reverted back to like, look, you can't really, a zebra can't change its stripes? Or is he like, no, motherfucker, I'm still Moby and I'm out there in the clubs and all. What do you think has happened to Robbie Bach?
Robbie Bach. Hey, shout out to all the Robbie Box out there in the chat. Zach, you want to catch us up on these super chats? Well, I do this.
Yeah.
Chinooki guy. No, shout out to Chinook.
Chinook guy. I wonder how Microsoft feels about Stalker 2 and to a different degree Atomic Heart. That is a weird situation to be in for a company that isn't directly involved.
Yeah, I heard that Atomic Heart ain't coming out this year.
Well, no, the fucking war just fucked everything up.
Yeah, Stalker 2 definitely. I mean, you're definitely not going to get that this year. So shout out to that dumb shit.
We got Super G says
Super
great
G.
Great show, fam. Awesome to catch you guys all live. Jaffe rules.
Shout out to Super.
You goddamn right.
Super G's a cool guy. We play some 2K together. Shout out to you, buddy. Then we got
John Wolf. He says, I just want to know if Jaffe brought orgy sounds.
Orgy sounds? I don't know what that is.
I think he meant orgy, and I just don't want John Wolf. Don't be handing out ideas. You hear?
No, I have a soundboard that has tons of that shit, but it doesn't come into this Discord, unfortunately.
Perfect.
Just go ask your mom to do what she did last night. Sound.
Hey, Zalker, go ahead and get Kirby's super chat. Super chat.
We got Kirby Louise. Shout out to your mom. Jaffe was saying he knows Microsoft has been placing some mandates on their first-party studios. Where's my mandate that Mojang get off their rears and get ray tracing on console ASAP?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, there's nothing more than the big fan base of Minecraft wants than ray tracing. I'm sure that's high on the list. That's interesting, isn't it?
Hey, I do got to say, I talked to somebody about that and why you remember the fucking 4K Xbox One X enhanced version of it too that never came out?
Minecraft in 4K. Yeah, I remember the announcement, bro.
Some stupid shit. Yeah, apparently it's due to the JavaScript or the Bedrock or whatever the fuck. Something to do with the engine that they just didn't end up bringing it over.
You
it's
mean
too
the
big a pain.
spaghetti code that the fucker that programmed it put it together with, and then everybody's trying to make it go together.
And then
I think you're talking about Halo Infinite, sir.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's spaghetti code too. They even admitted that. They were like, "Yeah, we had to fucking make slip space because we were using code from 1993."
I mean, let me ask you guys a question because I know you've covered it ad nauseum, but as an Xbox group and especially people who have your tentacles into the Xbox, machine, what the fuck is going on with that? It's like, I get the fact that management and this and that and the other, but even minor things like, some new maps taking 6 months or even taking a great map like Bazaar and going, we're going to change time of day. We're going to punch some holes in the wall. We're going to move pickups around and just release like a remix album of like Bazaar and whatever that the one with the arcade in it is, that City Streets one. It's like, what is hard about this?
Just remake a few older maps, even,
that's even harder. I'm just going the lowest level
the
of
developer,
difficulty.
Jaffe.
I'm telling you, yes, nothing is hard about it.
Nothing is
hard about it. It must be for these guys, but I'm telling you that unless they're I'm not doing that thing where I'm not being like, oh, I'm a fanboy. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. It's not.
Listen, if you had to send one person from 343 to the Gulag, who would it be?
I wouldn't even worry about that. I would take a couple of people that I know are brilliant production managers at the internal development level, and I would back a truck up of money if I was Phil Spencer or Matt Booty, and I would say, look, this is a business. These motherfuckers need some help. I'm sorry, you don't end up with Halo Infinite in the state it's in and pretend like nothing's wrong.
Yeah.
Something is fucking weird, man.
I was calling the shit out in my review, and getting called out by dudes.
And I loved Halo Infinite. My second favorite game of last year. It's great, but it's ridiculous.
That's why it's more disappointing because it is a fun game. The gameplay alone is like, I feel like I'm like actually craving playing the game, right? And you get in there and you want more, and nothing worse than a game that won't let you fucking play it, right? It just... Something about that really gets at people, but seriously.
Well, here's what I'll say: if anybody from Xbox listens to this podcast you're going there, and you're going, well, who, Jaffe? Who are you talking about? Just send me a DM or send Dealer a DM. I'll put you in touch with a couple people who'll blow your fucking socks off, and they'll turn your shit around. And I'm not even fucking with you.
Yeah,
they'll turn your shit around. They are fucking they're rainmakers, baby.
So you saying you got a squad of ninjas ninjas that are going to go over there and fix
I don't have a squad, but I've got 2 or 3 people in mind, and I don't want to be part of the deal. I don't want to get back into video games. I'm just saying Xbox probably has one of the best HR departments on the planet. It's not like they can't find these people. But on the off chance that whoever's managing Halo is managing Microsoft HR, give me a call. Give me a call. I'll help you guys out.
Exclusive.
For free.
Oh, shit. I don't know. I mean, shit, I mean, we got well said, I guess. We gotta move forward though. New channel member, by the way. We got Flush Jackson. Shout out to you, buddy. Yeah, Flush Jackson.
Next Halo season, I'm gonna tag Jaffe and be like, "Good job, man. Way to get
Goddamn
on."
right. Goddamn right.
It's gonna be great.
Hargeet, by the way, $90 super chat. Shout out to him, man. He says, "Will the Civil War start here today as well?" He says, "Diablo 2 Resurrected Global Code." He's handing that out. Shout out to Hargeet. Splendiferous says, Jaffe is Kratos sad. Look, Splendiferous calls the new God of War Sad Dad Simulator. Do you agree with that?
I mean, I definitely think it is a different Kratos, and in a lot of ways, I think that's incredibly clever and was incredibly necessary, given that it was a very long in the tooth franchise. It's not. I wouldn't have had the really great epiphany Cory Barlog, who directed it and wrote it or co-wrote it, did to sort of go the direction they did, but it was clearly right and it was clearly clever and clearly smart. For me, though, you know, it's very, and I loved it. It was one of my favorite games, but it's very hashtag not my Kratos. Like that's not, it's not Kratos to me, but it's a wonderful Kratos for a new generation. People seem to adore it. I loved playing it, but it's not for me.
We heard
so
you.
Is he sad? Is he sad? Probably, because under anger is sadness. So yeah.
Maybe. I mean, that God of War game is probably one of my favorite games of all time, if not Witcher 3. Yeah, I've said it a million times, but ultimately,
he's just pissed off. He's like, I gotta take care of this fucking kid. God damn it!
That's right.
Here I am, and I goes, all I have is a cabin. And he's not listening to me.
Yeah, he's like, if Jim Ryan would have let me get an abortion, but you know.
Oh my God! Stop. Hey, what if Kratos tried to?
Well, if people don't know the reference, they're probably like, "What the fuck is Jaffe talking about?"
Top shelf, sir. Top fucking shelf.
Hey, Jaffe. By the way, a few weeks ago we heard
I'd still be in Greece kicking ass if it wasn't for Jim Ryan and his bullshit. Respect all sides bullshit. The blades of chaos are useful for more than just killing monsters, Ryan.
All right. Well, hey. We heard you getting yelled at by a bunch of crackheads on a podcast like a month ago, and it was over your opinion on God of War Ragnarok and all this shit.
Wait a minute. Please tell me you're not using crackheads as a racial thing.
No, Jesus.
I'm not even sure because it's
I am 1,000% sure, sir.
No. I'm just asking because
all the crackheads I know are white anyway. So.
All right, fair enough. Keep going then.
Anyway, that was a dumb question, Jaffe, but we'll continue.
No, it wasn't. I don't know you very well. I don't want to. Look, I'm serious. I joke around about a lot of things.
So that tells me that you. Never mind. All right. So let me go ahead and progress.
That tells you what? That I've never smoked crack. I listen to me, man.
What was it like? What was it like going on that podcast, staying up overnight, building a video that singularly destroyed all of them combined 1,000 times over and over?
So fun, man. Because that's like I got a little bit of my Jon Stewart out of my system, right? It's like you can say whatever the fuck you want, but I got the goddamn receipts, and I'm not perfect, and I walk things back, and I make mistakes. But don't fucking try to paint me as a first-party Sony hater. That's a load of horseshit. A lot of these people on the Xbox and the PlayStation side act as if, anything you say that's negative is, paint you as a hater. And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm more of a gamer than you are.
Oh shit.
Because I don't mean
I just say that in the background. Don't worry about it. I just say that.
I'm just saying because, I play everything. I love all the consoles. The only people who don't come at me are the Nintendo fans, and that's only because they're usually, in preschool at the time.
Oh shit. Hey,
because the games are for babies, All right, I'll shut up. I'll shut up.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna pop some blood vessels out there, but hey, we do got to give a shout out to getting closer to 1,300 people watching live, guys. Hit the like button. Tell a buddy or two about the show. We're here with the David Jaffe, having fun and telling stories, and we told a lot of stories. We do got to continue. Zach, you want to grab a few of these? We can go to the next topic finally.
Yeah. Let me go.
Appreciate you, super chat friend.
No problem. Super chat bitch incoming.
Oh my God. JCT Bean, super chat Civil War.
Yeah, we got JR poll. Need to have Gaffy on more often. Lol.
His name's Jaffe.
I'm down. Jaffe, Gaffy, whatever. You got it. You understand? JCT Bean. My bad. Super chat Civil War. Good to hear you. Great panel. Damn glad to have you here. Jaffe. Hit that like button, people.
Hey, shout out to JCT Bean, $200 super chat, man. Appreciate it.
$200, everybody. Yeah.
And then we've also got Poochie, new channel member for 5 months. He says, Jaffe, any reasons why you have that Indiana Jones profile picture?
Because he is my favorite character of all time, other than Jed Bartlett on The West Wing, which is why my company was named Bartlett Jones.
He says, "What do you know? Tell us respectfully."
Oh, I don't know anything other than I think it's a terrible decision to make that game, and I'll be there day one. I cannot wait for it. I'm not doing a bit. I'm serious. I don't think Indiana Jones. I mean, you're talking about a character that nobody's kids know. Anybody under the age of 20 know it because their parents showed it to them. I am thrilled they're making it. I love Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones, when I saw Raiders when I was 10 years old, is the reason I went out to LA to make movies, which eventually got me into games. But Indiana Jones as a viable franchise character in 2022, I just don't see it. But I'm glad it's coming.
We will see, man. They brought back other characters and kind of reimagined, like even Doom Guy from Doom Eternal. That game could not have evolved much better than it did, in my opinion.
Oh, it was great.
It was phenomenal, and it just made Doom so incredibly relevant to me. But
hey, Jaffe, but what they got to do with that Indiana Jones is it's got to be third person perspective, man. It's got to be.
Okay. I don't. They do first person really well.
Do we know the engine? Sorry, do we know the engine is going to be made in? Because I was, not to go off track, but I've been playing a sample of Unreal Engine 5, and holy shit, an Indiana Jones game or a Tomb Raider game or even like a Final Fantasy game with the Luminite stuff, holy shit, it would look incredible in that engine, man. The realism is just out of this world.
What about Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball?
What about Minecraft on
Unreal
the
boobs? We could get realistic boobs with the lighting.
All right. Stupid. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Hargy. Far Cry 6 Ultimate Global Code. He's giving that away, man. Shout out to Hargy. And I asked D that, but I didn't expect him to come back and say that, chat. So I just want to apologize.
That's all, guys. Got Danny Passion. Danny Passion
Go
official.
ahead.
He says, Jaffe, Bethesda became under Phil a year ago. Game like Starfield can't be made on a year. Delaying a game that isn't ready yet seemed like good management to me.
Okay, but you're not right, because again, what you're doing is you're not really listening to the criticism. Nobody is. This is the craziest thing.
Yep.
People have come at me and they act like I'm saying Phil Spencer should be at Bethesda's offices and he's the guy that has the spreadsheet out going, oh, I think artist number 16 and programmer number 4, they've been coming in late and artist number 6 smells bad. Let me work on some management. I understand he's not managing, but ultimately the buck stops with Phil. And here's what a good executive at Phil's level should know. He should know 4 or 5 months before last week that this game wasn't going to make it. You think Shuhei Yoshida looks at a game and doesn't know when the developer's full shit? Come on now. Of course he does. Of course Scott Rhodey does. And so whoever that reports to Phil, that's job it is to look at that and say, this ain't going to make it, should have been telling them that. And if they had, then they could have softened the ground up for this announcement by saying, I know you're disappointed, but look what we've got coming. Or even not that. I know you're disappointed, but wait for 3 weeks in June. I got you. Don't worry. Papa Phil's got you. That's what a good executive would do. But don't come at me and act like I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm like, he only had the game for a year. He's not actually in the trenches making it. That's not what a Phil Spencer or a Matt Booty level or even a studio manager level person does. Now I'm going to go fuck this dog.
Stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you know what? I gotta say, mute your mic when you are, Lisa. And then also, Zucker, we got another couple other interesting super chats here, man. We can kind of use that to segue off of how Jaffe just backflipped off the topic.
Yeah, we got Flush Jackson. He says, start poaching management and ICs that have a track record of delivering products. Hurting the cats within development teams, Xbox tossing money around starts to look less strategic and more of a symptom of a larger problem otherwise. DJ on point.
Yeah, shout out to Flash Jackson, by the way, $50 super chat. Also, we've got Don Otaku down there as well.
Yeah, I got him. Does it really matter if Indiana Jones isn't a popular IP? It will launch in Game Pass, so as long as it's a good game, it'll be a success.
No, that's a great point. I mean, that's the Guardians issue. Even though Guardians is more popular right now than Indie, it's a very good point, and once more a point for subscription-based gaming. I was thinking about it more as a $70, $60 product, and you're absolutely right. But I'm excited regardless. I don't care if I'm the only guy who buys it. I love Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Services definitely make you feel compelled to try new things when they drop day and date. You're like, oh, what's this? And you give it a try, and it's
You think I ever would have played Loot River? You can't even read what the. I mean,
hey, bro,
you can't
that
even read what the
sick,
name
though.
of the fucking game is. It's literally the font makes no sense. It's great. It's a great game.
Yeah. The trailer for that looks crazy. I about downloaded it actually the other day. I was like, damn, it looks crazy.
Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and move forward, guys. We got everyone watching live. Shout out to you guys. We're going to move forward. Sony. Oh yeah, this is something I wanted to talk about. I was told earlier, and I think this is going around now, that Sony might have an event at the beginning of next month as well.
Yes, the first 2 weeks of June.
Yeah, which again, take this with a grain of salt. Take this with a grain of salt, but. God of War and Forspoken, they don't. Well, here's another thing that came out of the Starfield delay I do want to cover. But I was also told Forspoken was pushed back further, at least internally, at the very least, and Final Fantasy 16 would be there. I don't know. Just take that for what it is. But did you guys notice that when Starfield got delayed, the God of War Twitter account magically put up coming to PS4, PS5 2022?
Yep. No, it did not. It did not.
What
I thought
did it do?
that. Well, somebody this morning tweeted me, a big PlayStation fan tweeted me, "Oh, Jaffe, I guess you're wrong." Because I said, look, if this game comes out in 2022, which I hope it does, I will wear a MAGA hat on my show for a week.
Oh,
and I can't stand Donald Trump and I can't stand all that shit. But I said, I'll fucking wear the hat, right? So people who know me know that's a sacrifice. And so somebody writes me this morning and says, well, Jaffe, you better get that MAGA hat ready. Check it out. And I said to him, well, look, the reason I said it's not going to make it is because of Sony's messaging around it. If you're telling me they just put that up today, last week, whatever, then absolutely. I was only wrong because of what marketing and PR was doing, but that's okay. I can be wrong. And they fixed it by doing this. And then a bunch of people wrote back and said, no, that's been up for like 9 months. So the 2022 thing did not happen today, according to these people who wrote me. Now, I don't know that for a fact. I have no way of validating or verifying. Somebody went to the Wayback Machine on the internet and looked it up, and they said, yeah, that hasn't changed. So
okay. I just want to add real quick. I think that these games are going to be pushed. I think that Sony is now afforded the ability to push it because of the delay of Starfield. Starfield was going to be a huge seller of Xboxes this holiday season. And I personally think that Forspoken and God of War Ragnarok are going to be pushed closer to the holiday season. I think they're going to come out for the holidays. And I know people are going to get really pissed off at me for saying this, but I think that will actually give Sony the holiday win in sales for their console this holiday season, because I don't think anything's going to be able to compete with that around that time, especially from Xbox.
D, I've heard a lot of people out there that were kind of coming at me for saying similar things about Starfield, and they were saying, Starfield is not going to be like this big blockbuster that all the casuals want to buy.
I mean, for one, who said it would be?
No,
now,
man.
Now go back to playing Elden Ring.
I think that's what I was just about to say.
Don't tempt me, bitch. I'll do it.
I think it would be. I think it was going to have like the Elden Ring effect, where everybody and their dog would want to play that game this holiday season.
Yeah, but
I think there's a lot riding on it, and if they advertise it well, I thought it would really sell well.
But my whole point when I was saying no, this thing is going to be a blockbuster game is the fact that going into a service like Game Pass, yeah, people are going to play it, and then if it's great and a fantastic game, which I think it will be. Word of mouth is golden. Like that'll really travel well with people, and people will pick it up and play it and say, yeah, you got to play this. Tell others and stuff, because a lot of people were running around saying, you know what, they're going to tell. I asked 5 of my friends, that I work with that are that game on Xbox, and they didn't even know what Starfield was, and I'm like, sure, whatever. But,
yeah, I mean, even if they didn't, what the fuck's that got to do with anything?
Yeah, he's just saying stuff like people are saying.
It's not
stuff
the most known
like
thing
it wasn't
in the fucking universe.
Anyway.
Like, who gives a fuck?
It wasn't a big deal. They were trying to soften the blow of the delay by saying it's not a big deal. It's only a game that the hardcore really want to play. Or
nah,
about
it's
anyway.
unequivocal. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of the biggest things that happen all year.
I don't really give a flying fuck about what anybody says. I'm glad that Sony's going to be doing an event. I want them to come out because I want competition, and that's what I want. I don't give a shit. Like put pressure on them. If there is an event being, June 1st or June whatever second week, I don't care. Like cool competition. Back to that kind of.
I mean, it's more
like no, because some people are like, oh, it'll look bad if they get God of War or this. Like I've heard people say that. It's like, no, man, bring God of War. I want to fucking play it. Bring this stuff, so there is pressure to make.
People
Game
are saying
Pass
it'd be
more
bad
enticing.
if they release God of War this year.
Oh yeah, dude, go look on the fucking social media, bro. People are
my
like,
God.
well, it'll make Xbox look bad. I'm like, nah, just let it happen.
Who gives a
Like,
fuck?
Do you ever
Like, I want
follow up with
competition.
those people and say it'll look bad to who?
And
Who
go
gives a
outside,
fuck?
please.
Yeah, what is the matter with
exactly.
you? It's crazy. It's like
Yeah.
they're not
It
your
is crazy
friends.
because I want to, I want to play God of War. I want to play all these games. Like I play fucking everywhere. That's just me. But I want competition more than anything. That's what I want. Because Game Pass is awesome, but it could be fucking better, right?
Yeah,
Like, just like PlayStation Plus is, it looks pretty cool. They did a good thing, but it could be 10 times better. And that's what I want as a consumer. I don't care what the bottom line is for Phil or whoever the hell is. Who's man? I'm not the budget. I'm not in their finances. I don't give a shit. So make the show happen. And Sony, I want Sony to do something. I thought they would do something like in July or August, but the last day or two, there's been rumors like, hey, they might actually come out at beginning of June, and I'm like, freaking awesome. Reminds me of old school E3, right? Where they had one day.
June is going to be great, man, for news.
Bro, for real.
That's awesome. I can't wait.
And then Jeff Keighley's show on top of it, like he's gonna have a bunch of shit to be shown.
Jeff Keighley.
Like I'm down, man. Like I'm down.
Well, I do want to say that I think we definitely agree with you, Zachary. We want some competition. We definitely want, Sony to show off some games. And remember, here's the biggest thing that a lot of people aren't thinking about. When Sony have an event, 97% of it, at least, is multi-platform games as well. Stuff that I'm going to be able to see and actually play it where I prefer to play it, right? So it's kind of an event for everyone, just like the Xbox event is. Except for I think Xbox will have probably more first-party focus because they have so many studios now, but they definitely got to get some of the games out. Chat, let us know what your thoughts are as well. Shout out to over 1,300 people watching us live. Guys, hit the like button. Tell a buddy or two about the channel. Zachary, we got a few super chats here if you want to grab them, and then we can move forward. I got some questions for Jaffe, and we'll kind of roll off of that.
Yeah. Kendrick Star says, everybody hated everybody hate Dawn, but at least Dawn released games. Damn.
Yeah,
he also released Connect.
He did release some games. Released the Xbox One right in the toilet, too.
Yeah, he did. We got X Burke. He says, could Phil not just be quality of trusting Todd with the launch date? Seems like they're good friends, etc.
I think he knows how game development works, man, and stuff changes,
Yeah, I'm not saying. Yeah, I think of course I'm glad they delayed it for the sake of that game. I'm saying it reflects a bigger issue in my opinion.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So we got Mike. He says, Jaffe, if Yoshida is so on top of things at Sony, how do you explain what happened with Abandoned? I won't blame Phil for the delays, but clearly there needs to be changes, and he is ultimately responsible. Abandoned is not Sony, dude. Abandoned is a fake ass dude making shit up in the corner of his room, so saying that he's a game developer.
Hey, Mike, we have talked about that. Yoshida retweeted one of the Abandoned posts with like a like he knew the shit was suspect actually from the beginning. Jaffe, this is something that I was going to ask you actually. What do you think about this fraud from Blue Box or whatever it's called? Trying to release his Abandoned thing and knowing that he was dragging Kojima's hype into this and basically getting caught scamming people.
I don't know if you can actually say that though. I don't know if that's what he was doing.
100%.
Well, okay. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that you're saying that like it's a fact and it was uncovered that he was perpetrating a fraud.
Well, he's done this 5 times in the past and never released one again.
Yeah. No, I know. I understand. And in fact, they released some new images. I think it was today or yesterday that they said was from the game. But
it's a brick wall, bro.
I understand. I don't care. But I mean, I'm just saying that right now, I still don't really know what you can say about it. That's true. Keighley retweeted some of their stuff. Kojima has clearly been kind of playing around in those waters. And then you're right. Shuhei retweeted some stuff. They, knowing
Colin Moriarty interviewed him. Like Colin Moriarty interviewed the guy, and it was one of the fucking most awkward, like, what the fuck is happening interviews I've ever seen. I was like,
it's hard to interview a CG character.
Well, he's just like, right? It's hard to interview a brick wall.
Right. I don't know, but I don't, unless it comes out that there's no way this was a Sony PR.
No, I don't think they're related. It's not connected to Sony.
there's nothing about Shu in this other than he may have just been trolling because Shu's a fun guy.
No, that's why I said even he knew it was suspect. That's why he went,
Shu trolls. Well, some people took that as like, oh, see PlayStation, this is us. This is Silent Hill.
Yeah, definitely not.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't know, but yeah.
We also got Dub. He says, are there any OG Xbox franchises that Jaffe would like to see come back?
I mean, I really enjoyed Crimson Skies, but I don't think that's a viable. I mean, I guess on Game Pass it is, but it's
that's my game.
I loved Crimson Skies.
Echosoul.
I mean, I got to be honest. I mean, I was never a big Xbox gamer until the X and the S. I had a 360. I like Gears of War. I love the new Halo. I'm enjoying the shit out of Forza. I love Game Pass, but it's not like I have affection for like Blinks the Time Cat, or anything like that. So I just don't have a history with it. And so if you're just having it stand on its own as games, they haven't released a lot of great games. That's just the truth. Their first party compared to Sony and Nintendo has been,
well, it depends. Great. I mean, they are the highest rated publisher on Metacritic since they started tracking that.
I understand, and I played most.
And Sony dominate the third-person action-adventure genre. That's clear, but Microsoft dominate other genres.
Absolutely, I'm not saying they don't. I'm talking about intellectual property. Like one of my favorite games 2 years ago was Wasteland 3. Mm-hmm. That was Microsoft. That's In Exile, right?
Yep.
Well, sure, but it's not like people are running around, talking about the intellectual property of Wasteland 3 like they are talking about Nathan Drake and Uncharted. Yeah. I think historically Microsoft has suffered when it comes to intellectual property creation.
You think that basically they need more IPs that appeal to you, because right now they do have massive IPs that just like Minecraft and Forza and shit that we already used to.
Sure. Well, okay. But Minecraft is let's call that lightning in a bottle, right? And that wasn't created by
but neither was Wasteland.
Yeah, and neither Halo was. Halo was created under Microsoft. Mm-hmm. Microsoft's. All I'm saying, look, I mean, I don't. It's subjective for sure, but if you hadn't grown up with Xbox or you don't have an affinity for Xbox just for some reason, I don't think it's hard to look at their stable of main characters. Like if you were going to make an Xbox Smash Bros. Game, I think it would be really hard to find characters other than Master Chief that really invaded the zeitgeist of popular culture, like a Kratos, a Sweet Tooth, a Nathan Drake, an Elliot Joel. And that doesn't mean the games aren't great. I adore a lot of the games on Xbox. But I'm just saying from an intellectual property standpoint, I don't have a strong affection for any of the old games. I did love Crimson Skies. I couldn't tell you the name of the pilot or the name of the girl that was on the radio with him. I don't fucking remember. Do you?
Of course not.
Right. Well, who was it who said that's my game?
That was D. And of course he doesn't remember.
What was the name? Don't Google it. What was the name of the pilot? And what was the name of the old man who I think died? And what was the name of the woman?
Sometimes D-Batch disappears,
Yeah,
D-Batch
right.
is a bitch.
He's the most talented of us, but,
Usually when a question is required to be answered that he doesn't want to answer.
My bad. I'm here. Repeat the question. Sorry, my bad.
I was playing, they were saying you like Crimson Skies too.
Yes, I do, man. That was one of my favorite games back in the day.
Do you know I cosplayed as the main character like 10 years ago?
Really? No, I didn't know that.
What was his name again? I've forgotten it. What was his name?
I don't remember their names, man.
Oh, okay, yeah. Never mind.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, though. Yeah, they need to develop more iconic characters and develop some more IPs that people.
Yeah, I mean, their stuff is amazing, but like Forza, Gran Turismo has the same, not quote problem, but it's like you're not going to attach a lot of heart and soul to Forza or GT unless you're a car person, but you will to Master Chief. You will to Nathan Drake. I do. I think it's so weird, man, because it's so funny and potentially even disrespectful to talk about Microsoft this way. And I think Fonz and I talked about this a little bit on his show, but to have been at Sony when Sony first party was being carried during the PS1 days by a lot of third party stuff, a lot of second party stuff like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, it took Sony a long time to really find their legs and to find their experience that they knew how to do this stuff. And it may just be that Microsoft is just, they're behind.
Well, I think it's different. I think you make a good point that, yeah, they don't have names or zeitgeist, whatever you're saying. Like, they didn't really penetrate that with characters. But the thing I always saw Xbox as was like building my own, like building my own thing, right? Like, it was always multiplayer driven. So like everything I played revolved around Xbox Live, playing with my friends. We didn't sit there and go like, oh, I'm Nathan Drake or I'm like Halo. Like, we just had our own characters. We played Forza. We did everything. It was very much around Call of Duty, shooting stuff, and that's why they made fun of it, right? They call it like the dude bro console that you shot shit with. Like, yeah,
which is exactly probably why the 360 did so well, because they were tapped into that.
It did do so well, but it was that's the experience I have from Xbox. That's what I look at. Okay, so
what do you think then? What is the number one request you guys hear Xbox fans say? Is it Conquer? I mean, is it what do they?
Every time I hear Banjo-Kazooie or Conquer, I want to throw up.
Yeah,
but here, I want to refocus.
Can I ask you something real quick?
Go ahead, D.
I hear what Jaffe's saying, and I have to agree with him. Microsoft, outside of Halo, and you can't really count Forza because it's cars, fantastic franchise, but there's nothing iconic apart from the cars. Halo and Gears of War is pretty much the only characters that are synonymous with Xbox. They need more first person experience, not first person.
Listen, D-Veg, they just bought ZeniMax.
Let me say this. They need more single player experiences to have like a pop culture,
kind of like Doom Guy or
they,
Fallout and Elder Scrolls.
They don't really have anything outside of Halo and Gears that you see it automatically like, yeah, Xbox, where Sony has so many iconic characters that whenever you see them outside of gaming, it's synonymous with Sony, and Microsoft does need to address that. And to your credit, I know what you're going to say, they will address it, but to this point, I don't think they have done that.
No, that's not the argument. The argument, I guess, would be, do they have iconic IP and franchises, characters? The answer is absolutely, unequivocally, 100% factually, yes, they do. Right now, they just bought ZeniMax, right? But the problem is they haven't produced anything for a lot of those games. That will eventually be remedied, but it doesn't change the fact that as of right now, they do own those things. And in time, they will become synonymous with the brand as they do launch a Game Pass day and date and obviously own those ecosystems.
But for me also, Dealer, is like when you play a Skyrim, when you play a Fallout, I don't like character names. Like, I'm sure there's a few good characters in there, but the character you play is the one you create.
Mm-hmm.
So this is again the same thing. That's what Xbox has always been to me, is you create the character.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves, even you create the goddamn character. It's your legend, right? It's your pirate legend or whatever the fuck they call it. Like, all that stuff is
and it
your
depends,
creation.
right? Like, good RPGs like that obviously are good, but you got BJ Blazkowicz, Doom Guy. Like, you've got a ton of different IP, soon to be Indiana Jones.
Come on. You can't tell me BJ Blazkowicz.
You don't like Doom? You don't like Wolfenstein?
I love Wolfenstein, but if you walk onto a junior high lunchroom,
you're hearing about Fortnite. You ain't hearing about none of this shit.
Well, not only that, but it's like if you say, "Do you know Nathan Drake?" Yes. Do you know Kratos? Yes. How about BJ Blazkowicz? It's like I think he's in third period with me.
Maybe they won't. But ultimately, I'm not worried about them. Like, I'm not in junior high. I'm just saying, like, to me, they do have a lot of really, really cool stuff now. You know what I'm saying?
Don't mistake. I'm not saying they don't have great IP. I was very excited about the Bethesda deal. I'm excited about the Activision deal. I hope Toys for Bob gets to go back and make not Spyro, what's it called? Crash 4.
That's a really, really good studio, actually.
Amazing fucking game.
Make more StarCraft. Make Warcraft 4.
And then they push those guys into fucking Call of Duty. I hope to God that Spencer and those guys go, you're fucking doing a day one Crash for us. I mean, I know they have great new stuff now, but you guys, this conversation came up because you said, what would you like from the legacy of Xbox for them to revisit? And so far, that has not been their bread and butter.
Hey, Splendifer says it's not true. We have Craig. Everybody knows him. Hey, also,
somebody should make like a Artie. They should go get that game company that, if you don't know, they made like Journey and Flower and all these Artie games. And they should just make a game about Craig waking up and feeling so dejected
and just looking like a piece of shit in the corner. Yeah.
It's just like a walking simulator where nobody loves him. And it's just so sad.
And he listens to Dominoes make fun of him, you know?
That's right.
Hey, Assassin Lupa, by the way, she says, we don't know everything that's coming June 12th, do we? 100% correct. Greatest Xbox podcast in the world. Thank you very much. I am glad that it was your opinion. Shout out to everybody watching live, guys. Almost 1,300 people watching live. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Tell a buddy or two about the channel. We're here with David Jaffe. I've got some questions for Jaffe. Just some, we don't got to spend a lot of time on these, but you can kind of yes, no them or answer them however. Just whatever. So my first one is, did Xbox ever screw you over?
No,
All right.
God, no.
Did Sony ever screw you over?
I did. Oh my God. Xbox didn't screw me over, but I fucked up so bad in front of Xbox.
What happened?
So I had Drawn to Death, right? And Drawn to Death, my agents and everybody.
I thought he was going to say you fucked a dog.
No, well, again.
Drawn to Death. Let's stay on track. All right.
Look, what happens on the Last of Us motion capture stage stays on the Last of Us motion capture stage. But yeah, so they actually had one of their executives come out to LA, walk me through Xbox One before it was released, because they wanted me to come on board and make a game with them. And so that was great. And then I flew out there and I met with Mike Ybarra, and we went to dinner with Mike Ybarra. And what was his second in command he worked with? I forget his name. Really nice guy. And Ken Lobb, who I met, who I just thought was the knees bees. Great fucking guy. Loved hearing his Nintendo stories and shit. And so we just had the best creative meeting. And this was it was in preparation to come back and pitch whoever was in charge at the time. I don't know if it was Phil Spencer at that point or if it was still the other guy. But so I come in a month later. I had come up to San Francisco and that whole area, upper West Coast, to fly around and pitch different people. And they had put Microsoft at the top of the list. And I was like, I really wanted Microsoft. But it was the first pitch and I was not prepared. And it was the worst fucking pitch in my whole I mean, I'm a good pitch, and this was terrible. And then, I mean, it was horrible. And so I just told my agent, my lawyer, I said, look, man, we got to reschedule these. I'm not ready for the pitch. We shouldn't have started with Microsoft. We should have started with the company that's making Billy Blank's Zumba games or some such bullshit, but we did. And I fucked up, and, they were always still nice to me. I really like those guys, but no, I did not wow them. Let's put it that way. So they never fucked me.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, no, they were really nice. They remain really nice when I talk to them. But yeah, I really shat the bed because I was not. It was the first time. You should never do your most desired company should never be your first pitch. That was stupid.
Well, what about Sony? Have they ever screwed you over? And be truthful about it.
Well, I am. I mean, they've disappointed me like I've disappointed them at times, but that's any work relationship. I don't know the new regime, right? I've never met Jim Ryan. I've never laid eyes on Herman Holst. But the people that I know from Sony have always been, other than a couple people at PR that I find obnoxious as fuck, but I'm sure the feeling's mutual. Other than that, they have always been very good people. They have been trustworthy. They play hardball. They're not, they're not a charity, but they're genuinely good humans. And I to this day, I have great affection for a number of those people. Connie Booth, Scott Rhodey, Shuhei Yoshida.
What'd they do to you, Jaffe? Tell the truth.
I'm trying to, the worst experience I ever had at Sony had more to do with a falling out I had with one of the producers who, thank God, I've worked it out with her. But short of that, I mean, there just wasn't. It was a different time though. I didn't, I got to pretty much make whatever I want. Mm-hmm. I got to work with amazing teams, amazing creative managers. I got a lot of support when I needed to extend a game. We got to extend a game. And I also happened to be plugged into what the gamer wanted at the time. And even as I drifted away from that in terms of being, an in the trench game designer and being really effective at that, they were still kind. When, a lot of people would be mad at the guy who called you and canceled your game. We were making a game with Sony. And I remember having a conversation with Scott Rhodey, and it was like, the guy's just doing his job. He's a sweet, nice, wonderful dude. And he's also really talented. So it's even Shu will fucking cut you in your sleep. I mean, that guy's no joke. But he will, because I mean he comes
Wake up,
across
feel a
as
little
this like
pinprick. What the fuck?
yeah, he comes across as this little mild mannered guy, and he is that. But he's biting as fuck. But always good people over there. I really don't have any bad experiences at Sony at all.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel bad.
I
feel bad. I let
when he
them
was sharing
down.
games, right?
That's right. I feel bad I let them down with my last game. And Scott Rody's like, "Don't be silly. It was a great game. We all loved it. We all believed in it."
So how come you never brought the Xbox? I mean, they just didn't see it and be like, "Okay, we'll go ahead and let you."
No, they saw it and they said, at the time we were like, we need $5 million to make it, which ended up being 15 or whatever. And they said, well, we don't really see it, Jaffe, but we kind of want to work with you, so we'll give you $2 million to make it. And I was just like, I don't think I'd love that, but I got to build a team and a studio and a game. I can't do that with $2 million. So we stopped talking about it at that point.
So who owns the IP?
Sony.
Okay. Well, at the end of the day, man, I mean, have you? We were talking about PlayStation Premium earlier, and the difference between the services and some I've noticed, Fonzarelli, if you're still alive, is that people sure do fucking like services now, where they thought Game Pass was horrible and killing the industry, and the anti.
Yeah, it's not funny.
What's happening now?
Everyone loves developer, bitch.
Everyone knows PlayStation Premium is amazing now, right?
Maybe it's something that we've been saying for years. When the shoe is on the other foot, they're going to start to like it, right?
Yeah,
they're going to. Yeah, it's just crazy. We've been, touting, Game Pass and stuff for a long time, and we said, if they had it over there, something similar, they're going to embrace it, and that's exactly what's happening.
No, we won't.
If they got day and date, they'd go out of their minds.
Have you seen that, Jaffe? Like the flip-flopping on this?
Yeah, I mean, I think they still have a little ammunition in their argument, which is, well, we're not doing day and date, and so they can still kind of cling to that. But I mean,
that gun's aimed towards them, and they don't even know it.
Yeah, I have gotten so much shit for being a Game Pass and a subscription fan. I got shit for being a Stadia fan, even though I said their business model is shit, but I thought it was going to be like xCloud. I mean, if you have good internet and you're close to a server, and I have both, I don't have great internet, but it's good. Playing xCloud, and it's a subscription. xCloud with Game Pass is the fucking future. And what I do hope they announce in a couple of weeks is the puck, is the stick or the puck that goes into TVs. And I hope they roll out a Samsung, which apparently they have a deal with, which is like, hey, and here's the smart TV. The first one goes on the market in November, and it actually has Game Pass built into the smart TV. It's not for everyone yet. It won't be for everyone for 5, 6, 7 years, or at least for the majority. But the same kind of pushback I saw against subscription services and the same kind of pushback I'm seeing against streaming, it's exactly like almost word for word what people were saying 12, 15 years ago when us in development were getting excited about digital. No, I want to own my games. Digital never work. Takes forever to download. That's stupid. Games aren't movies, blah, 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 blah.
Technology always catches up, right?
It always catches up, and it will. And yes, I understand there will always be a collector market. There will always be people who love physical. I respect that. But end of the day, people choose convenience, low barrier of entry, and cost more than they choose the aficionado product. That's just how it works. Always worked that way.
That puck, and when it hits Samsung TVs, that's going to be a game changer. People got to realize the hardcore. Yeah, we're the hardcore, and we think we're the bee's knees, but really we ain't shit, man. It's the casuals that truly run the market. And I just want to address something on the Stadia thing that you said.
Can I say two things quick? I'll one sentence each. The puck. Well, the puck is, my understanding is the puck works with other TVs. Samsung, it's built in. So I don't think the puck goes into the Samsung.
Yeah.
That's number one. And then number two is well, keep going. Go ahead.
No, I'll just to add to what you're saying there. I think the puck is more of a thing for non-Samsung TVs, i.e. Sony TVs, because Sony is never going to allow that on their TV. So that puck is one way around them. And the thing on Stadia was such a good service. I'm talking about the core service, like how it ran and the latency and the quality of it.
RIP.
It's definitely top tier over everything else. But like you said, their modeling, it's just horrible. And although Game Pass might not be as smooth of a service, just the sheer number of games that you're able to play and the amount of devices, it's just undeniable.
But that's the thing, though. The
That's all I
Game
wanna
Pass
say.
thing, the Game Pass stuff is a technology issue, right? And the fact that they knew they were going to be streaming to phones at 720p at first, 1080p later, and eventually they will go higher. That's going to improve over time.
Of course.
Right, but
Sure.
all of
Oh,
the
for sure.
accessibility, the playing the games locally, the sales, how it feeds back into itself, unlike anything else, that's something that's there already. So it's only going to get better.
Can I just say, and this is why I'm such a Game Pass fan. And ultimately, I may end up becoming a PS, whatever they call it, fan when it comes to their service. But when I say it won't just change the business, it'll change the art form. It'll change the way games are made. As somebody who was designing games for 20 years, there are things, and also as a gamer for way more than that, there are things that developers have not had to care about. One of those is pacing, right? If you have xCloud and you have Game Pass, a lot of times these days I'll sit at my computer and go, oh, there's this Dodgeball Academy game. Cool. I'll download it and play it. I don't even have to download it. It's just streams to me. Right. Well, before there was that, you spent money, you put your credit card in, you had to wait for the download. The very nature of doing that gave the developer a little bit of a buffer of like, okay, well, I'm committed. I'll play an hour at least. Maybe it'll get good. Right? When you have it like a Netflix show, which is your experience on xCloud and Game Pass, the game gets 5-10 minutes tops. And if it doesn't grab you, if it's not interesting, you move the fuck on.
Yep.
And it also allows you to try different things that you wouldn't usually commit to, and you may fall in love with the game. The very nature of developers, if this catches on, which I think it will, starting to have to go, we can't wait for 3 hours for the game to get good. A lot of gamers will say, "Oh, it gets good in about 8 hours." Fuck that! What movie
It could have
waits
got
till
good in the first 80 minutes or
Bro,
8 minutes.
that's what people said about Days Gone. They're like, yeah, just get past the first 17 hours and it's a straight shot. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Like,
I played that thing for 28 hours. Screw that.
I did love Days Gone, but I agree. And those kind of little things that don't seem sexy to talk about when you're standing on stage, that kind of stuff marbles into the development community in terms of what we need to do to succeed, and it makes the medium better. It's the reason a lot of people love TV shows right now and not movies, because when there is a good business model to support an 8-season episode of a show versus a 2-hour movie that everything has to get crammed in, people go, oh, long form storytelling is so much more satisfying. It's gonna be great if they can just get their fucking games out.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people said about, like you said, Netflix. Like if you had a show, the first episode needed to grab people, or they wouldn't show up for the second one. With Netflix, they said that they can wait like 3 or 4 episodes before pulling the hook on, because people can just binge it, right? They'll just sit there and watch it, and then boom, they're hooked. Then it's like, cool, we're done. Like that's all they needed to do. It's very rare where a show grabs people for a full season, or like week by week.
Seasons have changed. Seasons on streaming is 8 to 10 episodes usually, because that's really all they need. Whereas me and the family are watching The Good Doctor. We're binging it on Hulu. It seems old fashioned, but every season's like 23 episodes, like in the old days. I'm like, 23 fucking episodes a season. But the business, the art conforms to the business model.
Yep.
It's how it always has been.
Every time. Also, somebody asked me to ask you, it might've been Papa Baco, shout out to him. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but, any plans ever for Twisted Metal somehow to make it Xbox? You ever see that happening? I had to ask it. I was begged by whoever it was. I don't remember. Twisted Metal, Xbox. Do you see it ever happening?
Oh, God, no.
Okay.
Oh, God, no. No. And I mean, it's a Sony property. I mean, it's as likely as...
Hey, we got MLB The Show over here. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah, that's a cash cow for Sony, though. I don't, and that was because they kind of were like, make it or lose it.
So we have to get it on PC, basically, is what you're saying. Like everything else.
I think if Microsoft wanted to make a card combat game, they would have made a card combat game. I think there's a real deficiency in that genre at this point when you're talking about a pure card combat game. I think the license of Twisted Metal, the world, the intellectual property is still very strong. They start shooting a TV show for it this coming Monday. So, there's definitely something there, but it's not about card combat only. That's sort of I don't mean the show. I mean, if you were to remake the game or bring a new game in the genre.
That game, oh my gosh, was mindless.
Hang on a sec. Hang on. King Trash. Nobody said nothing like that about you, dude. Shut the fuck up. You go back and listen before you think you know what the fuck someone said, all right? Jaffe, see what you started?
What did he say we said?
Yeah,
this is King Thrash?
Yeah, just, let him live in the sewer. All right, just leave him down there with the Ninja Turtles, all right?
And April O'Neil. Would you fuck a Ninja Turtle if you got to have sex with April O'Neil?
No, I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Phil Spencer has ever heard of your show? Do you think he's ever listened to this show?
He has listened to the show, yes.
All right, Phil Spencer, if you're listening, if you fuck a Ninja Turtle, would you do it? Would you do it, Phil? But you could fuck April O'Neil and your wife would never know.
Will you leave?
What? I'm asking. I'm giving the man.
Right?
Hey, I'm throwing them. He's a married
Phil's
man.
playing Elden Ring right now. Leave him alone.
Listen, I've been married. I know what it's like. I'm giving him an option. I'm giving him a
Phil's
night.
worth $25 million. He's all right. He's going to be fine.
April O'Neil.
Hey, I do got to give a shout out to Zalker. You want to read off Risky for the Biscuits? Chad, he's been a member for 2 months, man. He's got that nice red Xbox badge.
Yeah, if I can fucking find it.
Shout out to you, Risky.
Member for 2 months, Xbox badge. Sub dealer Fonzalker D and Jaffe RDX, always fire. God of War is my favorite franchise, so thanks, J-Dog. Shout out to the chat. You guys are awesome.
Thank you very much. We do appreciate you, man. Fonz ain't got shit to say today. I just
no. I'm talking with the chat a lot, but I just don't see why King Thrash thinks he was mentioned. Nobody mentioned his name.
No one talked about.
I think you guys were talking about the podcast I was on, which was the Roundtable podcast with
the Wobbly Table podcast.
It wasn't Thrash who did the idiocy. It was some guy.
Nothing racial tied to it. That's what I want to tell people to look at everything through race-tinted glasses.
No, that's why I asked you, and you said no, and I'm like, oh, okay,
weird.
Because some people would do that, but if you're saying you're not, great.
People are fuckfaces, and that's just silly.
Kind of take it on a different note. I just want to ask you, Jaffe, back in the day when you released Twisted Metal, what did you think of Road Rash at that time?
Oh yeah.
I loved the thematic of it. I want to say did the first one come out on Genesis or 3DO? I think it was Genesis, but then we had the 3DO one in the office. I thought it was really cool, but I was terrible at it, and I didn't like the infrequency of engagement, because you still had to pull up alongside a bike and you had to kind of maintain that connection. And there was a little bit of cheating to help you stay with the guy for a little bit, but I always wanted that combat to be much more a little deeper and a little bit more sustained, but I loved the thematic of it. I thought it was a really great idea.
Well, we do have some other topics, and I've got a big shout out to the chat also, guys. All the mods, Splendiferous, don't even start that shit, man. Seriously, I don't need it.
Yeah, Splendiferous, stop.
Hey, we do have a shout out to everybody watching, though. Everybody hit the like button. Everyone that subscribes and lets us know your thoughts on. I did a poll earlier, by the way. I don't know if y'all was paying attention, but a lot of
I voted the complete opposite because your trash polls suck ass.
What do you mean? I was asking if people were excited for PlayStation Premium. Wasn't they?
You know what the overwhelming people are going to say.
They're going to say, they said, yeah, they're very excited. They like it.
I was one of those people. I'm not subscribing, but I'm excited.
You little bitch. Hey, did you guys know that Jurassic World Evolution 2 is coming out this month on Game Pass as well as Sniper Elite V5? I know you're going to be playing that Ponzarelli. Oh, no, you're not. You got rid of Game Pass.
I'm not. Yeah. I'll be back when they put some big games back on for sure.
Why you been on there the past 5 months then?
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I can't play games right now anyway. That's the whole problem, man. I'll be off of gaming for the next, I don't know.
Yeah,
month.
This is your last week for a little bit, man.
Yeah, I'm taking a hiatus. So, yeah. But anyway, let's get back to
He's going to
He had
Bahamas.
a jack-off accident. His wrist hurts. It's wrong. It's all bad, man. He can't play games.
Chad, I'm sorry about what Zalker just did.
I accidentally blocked the wrong people, and now, I'm in trouble.
Oh, God. I was going to go in on this whole Xbox era thing. Apparently, people have an issue with me saying the whole Avengers thing is just cringy and crawl down off the pedestal shit. And, I ain't like none of these other people around here. I'm not going to say one thing to your face and then say something different behind your back. Trust me, that's what everyone else is doing to these guys. And apparently, they're the same way. That's the only reason I said that, because I know they're not, it ain't just a joke to these guys. So, it's all brand-oriented and all this shit. I didn't want to go into this stuff, but, man, I was very close. And it's just a lot of bullshit, man. So I just want to thank everyone that appreciates no bullshit. That's the end of my story.
Well said, man.
For some reason I was picturing Will Smith smacking the shit out of Chris Rock. Can you relate to that? All right, perfect. No. We did cover the Starfield stuff a little bit. It got delayed till what, the first half, second half of 2023. What do we know about this, Zucker? When is it getting undelayed, and when the fuck can we fly around?
What they say, beginning of next year, 2023, beginning of next year. So expect the first 6 months of next year to drop something. Probably Redfall first, then Starfield after.
Are you saying they're going to be games eventually?
I mean, there'll be games eventually, but not right now. I'll tell you that much. So the most appealing thing to Game Pass is not here this year. So fuck. That's what it is.
All right.
I mean, what else?
Unless they write the check. Phil
I mean,
Spencer,
no.
check.
Hey, man, unless they write the check. Jaffe, I have a question for you. How long do you think it'll take Sony to start putting their games on not services, but PC day and date? Like, because I feel like they've hired people for that shit. Like, how long do you think how long do you think it'll take?
It'll get short. I mean, I have no idea. I mean, it ultimately right now, all of this is stopgap. Right, because consoles are going away. It's gonna, if anybody has kids or teenagers who are on this podcast, they don't even think about consoles for the most part. They don't think about owning games for the most part. It's Fortnite and Among Us and Jackbox Party and all this shit. And so ultimately, it's all just going to be streaming into your monitor. But until that happens, I think you're going to see those windows get shorter. But I think they're never going to be day and date for as long as Sony is dependent on selling hardware. I do think we will start to see day and date software coming to PlayStation, though. Absolutely. I don't think it will be all that often their big titles, but of course, their service games will be day and date. And they've got 10 of those in development. That obviously just only makes sense. But I think what's going to happen is if Microsoft can pull their head out of their ass and actually, release games, which I know they know is part of the job, but they somehow seem to have forgotten that. If they can start doing that on the cadence that it seems they should, both first, second, and third party titles, you're not going to be able to ignore day and date. I mean, I was telling somebody this the other day. Just imagine the marketing of, and again, everybody goes online these days, but assuming you buy your video game in a store, let's say you go to Best Buy, and all Xbox has to do is go, here's Call of Duty, here's Starfield, here's 8 games that everybody's excited about, and put them on both systems, put them on Sony too. And then at the bottom there's a big circle for total for Sony, and it says like $680 for your Christmas presents or for your kid. And in Xbox it says 0. And then there's a little asterisk that's like, $15.99 a month or whatever. I mean, you will not be able to compete with that. It is just impossible. So I do think Sony is going to start going day and date with specialized games they create that are single player specifically for that purpose. But until they get rid of the hardware shackles, you're never going to see that with PC day and date. It'll probably be 3-6 months at the latest or the soonest.
I think it's all inevitable. Day and date across the board. They'd rather be 2 years, 5 years. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it may be if they get the next Fortnite in one of these 10 service games and they suddenly start raking in money like Epic is and Microsoft is with Minecraft, sure. But the math right now they're saying doesn't work. Hell, the math doesn't work anyway. I mean,
they already have one of those games in Destiny, right? Like they're already saying, like, yeah, they'll be multi-platform completely.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, I never really caught the Destiny bugs, so it's always off my radar. Oh, MLB's a cash fucking cow. I had Sony.
I mean, they want all their games to be cash cows, though. That's the thing.
Oh, I know. But I was stunned because I was sitting with one of their key executives, and he was just telling me, I was kind of rolling my eyes at MLB. He's like, dude, that fucking thing keeps the lights on for so many studios. He's like, every year. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, man, you just haven't been paying attention. Look at the top 10 every year. MLB is there or close. And now that it's on Xbox, come on. Yeah, I mean, that's certainly when they start doing that on the regular, then maybe they'll have the money to do that. But right now, I do think they get a big, bad, bloody financial nose if they start putting their games on day one PS5.
I'm thinking anytime you got, a service for such a decent price, you're gonna bleed money just like Netflix, just like, probably Game Pass did initially. It takes a lot of money to jumpstart something like that. And I think that's Sony's problem is capital, and they're scared of that. They're not quite there where Microsoft's
they
at.
also haven't built they've built a very different bridge to their audience. They have built on production value and incredibly high quality execution. And as I've said this at the very beginning, not of the show, but of talking about Game Pass back in the day, you know, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, Game Pass is McDonald's and PlayStation is like a high-end 4-star rated Michelin
for one
steakhouse.
genre, yes.
Well, right, but even so, McDonald's isn't bad. Most people go to McDonald's. It does, you know. I loved, for example, Gears of War 5, but it's a B title compared to what Sony puts out in the same genre.
It's better than Days Gone. And in the same genre, third person cover shooter.
Not at a production value level. It's not
Gears 5? What?
Yeah.
No, it's not even close. Gears 5 crushes it.
No. Okay. I mean, it's subjective. I disagree. Because I mean, I can name specifics when I was playing Gears 5 and I'm like, yeah, Sony would never allow that. Right. I mean, there are things like where but again, it doesn't matter. 90% of your audience doesn't give a fuck is my point.
Yeah.
So it's the right decision. I would rather see Microsoft put out B+ versions of Sony's third-party games where the production value isn't, we've reinvented animation to make sure if you happen to bump into a wall that has more than 50 leaves, the animation will, but that's the kind of tech porn that a lot of the PlayStation fans get off on, and that's great. They love it.
That's the cool shit though, like you see in the Naughty Dog games.
The cool
and stuff.
shit is, okay, but that's, most people don't play games for that. So I'll give you an example in Gears 5. Gears 5 has a lot of moments where you go into a town and you talk to NPCs and there's a cutscene, but it's using the real-time engine. 90% of the time, the characters' pupils are not looking at each other. It looks like mannequins in a store window have been set up next to each other, and one character's looking off the right shoulder of the other character, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way on God's green earth Sony would let that go. Naughty Dog would let that go. Santa Monica would let that go.
I don't know. I've seen it here and there, but I get what you're saying. But
I'm not saying it's negative. I'm saying for me, I'd rather get 3 more games a year that feel like, McDonald's than one game every, 23 months that feels like, or more than that, really, that feels like, a steakhouse.
And 2, we're living in the past with that, right? Without counting the ZeniMax stuff or the Activision stuff or any of that stuff that's happening, or the fact that most of these teams have multiple teams now.
There's a mentality that starts from the very top. If you're saying that you feel that Xbox has communicated with the fans that I know they've said, we want a Last of Us quality, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel that that's where they're going, that's great. Fans love it. I'm just saying that most of the audience doesn't need it and they don't care. They would rather have easier, less expensive, more frequent. I would rather see B titles on Game Pass coming 4, 5, 6 times a year from first party than A+ titles coming from Sony, but you pay $70.
I'd rather have A+ titles from Xbox in a timely manner. I don't want to have to choose one or put anything in a box. I would just say that
everybody that they've bought doesn't make Sony titles.
But I'm just saying though, like it's semantics at this point. It's based on stuff that we don't really have evidence of going forward.
I absolutely disagree. If you look at every studio that they have purchased, none of them are known for that AAA production.
So you don't
quality.
think Hellblade 2 is the best looking game of all time right now?
I haven't seen really much of the gameplay. What they showed was fine, but no, it doesn't look as good as Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. It doesn't.
All right.
But a better example though is God damn it, man. The bigger point though is that I'm not saying I'm not impressed by that stuff. I'm saying that's the stuff that costs a shit ton of money.
Not with engines like Unreal Engine 5 though. Like things are changing. Like that stuff is more accessible than ever.
It's not. That's not how development works. Basically, the bar gets raised, and then the bar of today becomes acceptable. Naughty Dog, Santa Monica, Unreal, not the engine, but this team raises the bar, and then what's acceptable today is the bargain bin tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yes, today Unreal 5 is tip of the sword, but that sword ain't going to stay sharp for more than 6-7 months. Something else going to come along. Then you'll see Naughty Dog doing something.
Yeah, I expect to see that constantly, forever. Right. I'm just saying that I'm placing, more hope that they will keep releasing better and better games. At least that's what I'm asking for from them. And ultimately, we'll have to see how that stuff turns out. I have a lot of faith that they'll actually turn out some pretty good stuff. And whether or not
good game though, a really good game has nothing to do with really good production value.
I think they've already done both. I think they've had the
Skyrim. Come on, Skyrim is not a.
No, I'm not talking about Skyrim. I'm just saying they do dominate genres, and they do both things better than Sony in those genres. Racing is just one of them.
Only racing.
No, strategy. Multiplayer games of all kinds. Even how shitty fucking Halo launch had a post-launch, it still is way better than anything Sony's ever dropped online.
No. We're not talking gameplay. We're talking production value.
But I'm talking about genres, though.
Talking about production value.
Yeah, okay, genres is different. If you want to talk genres, you're right. But I thought we were talking about production value.
Yeah, I think they all stand on their own in a different way each time. But go ahead, D.
I just want to say something on the production value. I see what Jaffe's saying. Like, I think Xbox has some fantastic games. Halo, I loved it. Gears, I love it. The DLC was awesome.
Yeah, Hivebusters was awesome.
They make some good games, and nothing wrong with the games. But I do understand what Jaffe is saying on the level of production. It is a tier higher, and I think also Microsoft has acknowledged this. And personally, I've said this many times, Sony has laid down the blueprint on how you do these games. All they got to do is emulate the blueprint and take it a step further. I think
that's
now
huge. That's very hard.
I think now with all the studios that they have and all the knowledge that can be shared between the studios, I think we're going to start to see some gems. And I think Unreal Engine 5, I know what you're saying about the development and all that stuff, but the tools are so awesome. I'm seeing like little no-name guys off the internet making some fantastic stuff with Unreal Engine 5. So I can only imagine when real developers wrap their head around it. I think we're going to start to see some good things, and if people are listening, they should take the little cues where Sony is really into detail. I think Microsoft should also take that approach and be very deep into detail as well. We could have something that's fun as well as something that looks fantastic and that is polished. And I think I know what you're saying, Jaffe, about you'd rather 3 a year than one, but the amount of studios that Microsoft has, when all of those studios are flowing,
you should get it games out 3 or 4 months.
I think you're going to get 3 games a year that are top quality. I don't think they're going to be B games. I think you're going to get 5 B games a year. And honestly,
we got that last year with Psychonauts. We got that. We even got a strategy game.
No, you did not.
Psychonauts is a fantastic game, and I didn't even care for that game when I first got it.
Psychonauts is a fantastic game, but if you compare it to Ratchet and Clank,
I'm not saying graphically. I'm saying quality-wise.
The controls are terrible compared to Ratchet and Clank, and I loved it. It's beautifully written. It's creative as fuck. It's a great game.
I thought it had decent controls.
Decent controls, yeah, B-level controls.
I don't know. I just thought it was a quality game. I was surprised by it. And then we got Forza Horizon, and then we got Halo. I think they did better last year than Sony did. It does suck that we got the delay this year, which is kind of where we got off track.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight. It's not subjective. I'm just basing it off my history, my experience, and what I've played. If you're telling me that you think from a production value standpoint.
No, I'm just saying overall, games that were quality that hit last year.
If we're just talking games, if you think that what they put out other than Forza was better than Returnal and better than Ratchet and Clank, I don't know about that.
I think collectively they had a better year, 100%.
Depends on what you're using to determine.
Speaking of Forza, Forza.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, that's fair.
Forza was fire. Now I gotta be honest. I want your opinion on this because I'm a graphics whore, so I hear the stuff that you're saying. And Forza Horizon 5, holy shit, man, that game
and it looks just like GT. I don't know what people are talking about. Yeah,
GT. I put them side by side, and I played both of them, and there's no comparison in my opinion. And you being a former Sony developer, I just want to know your opinion on this.
I agree. I mean, I in the same way I can look at Ratchet and say not just graphically but control wise, the attacking and all that stuff. That Ratchet wipes the floor with Psychonauts in terms of execution. Creatively, of course, no one's debating.
But Psychonauts 2 is the overall better game in my opinion, and I think
I don't agree. I don't agree.
Higher than Ratchet.
Fair, but I don't agree. But whatever. But when you're talking Forza, though, oh fuck yeah! I mean, I'm not saying that if you zoom into both cars, Forza and GT, it wouldn't surprise me if you zoomed in with a video game version of a microscope or something. Yes, wow, the little tire treads, whatever those things on tires are that look like little fly legs that are, sure. I'm sure GT probably has more than that, but for where it matters and for where sort of intentionally the rubber meets the road with most audience members, Forza looks staggeringly gorgeous. I mean, it looks
real good.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful.
But I guess somebody's still talking about this. I said the word crackheads, people. All right, I know those of you that were listening were like, you've heard me call my own panel members crackheads, Zalker, Fonz, everyone. Just something I call people. So again, I don't know why I'm even entertaining
Why'd you name me first?
Because you really are a crackhead. But I don't know why I'm entertaining it. I just, again,
what do you
if that's how you look,
you people.
Oh my God!
See, he's doing it again. King Trash gonna get back in here. Hang on, somebody say you people. Just like
I'm kidding.
That's what happened when you kind of jokingly said that earlier.
Somebody actually came in. I don't know you. I did not jokingly said it. I don't know you guys. I wanted to be clear.
You wanted to make sure.
You said no. That was not a racist dog whistle. I said okay. No, I'm not joking. It's important to ask.
There was actually somebody in here trying to play that bullshit.
Sitting here with D-Batch as well. Like,
Tropic Thunder is like the funniest movie ever.
No, you said it wasn't, and I take you at your word. We moved on. There was nothing more than that.
People just want to be angry about whatever, man. Listen, at the end of the day, I can say this as a black person on the show. None of that bullshit is going on because number one, I wouldn't tolerate it. First of all, Dealer and I have been friends for freaking years. So just like enough of that bullshit.
Well, I mean, he has a history of doing that. You can't even say he was the word volcanoing without him thinking it's
racial.
But
you have to admit,
you guys have so much time on your hands. Go back through the archives and see how many times Dealers called everyone a crackhead. Okay?
That's fine. Although in his defense, you have to admit, D, whenever you and Dealer take a bus somewhere, he makes you sit at the back. That's
all I'm saying. That's fucked up.
That's all I'm saying. That's a Dealer thing, though.
Jaffe, was that racial?
He's got because he's got no, it's not about racism. He's got a touch of the autism.
Oh my God, what you just played? Don't even do it. Don't even. Shout out to Kiss Move. Hey, Zach,
let me jump in. Let me jump into this really quick.
Go ahead and jump in and then grab the super chat.
Hold on, Jaffe, you were talking about like the games and the quality panel comparisons, B to A, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, what is your most important thing in a game? Is it gameplay?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay, so gameplay is like, that's the same thing for me. Gameplay is number 1, 2, and
3. Gameplay and interesting ideas. Intellectual property. What's it about? What am I doing? What's it make me feel like? Graphics are great, but graphics wear off. I think that's what I mean about the Unreal 5 thing, is that it's really important. Yes, Unreal 5 is great. The number of people who can make games now is growing, which is great. But the thing to remember is it's staggering that someone can pick up Unreal 5 and be a one-man band and create an open world game that looks pretty goddamn fucking good, almost shippable. But that happens every time, right? So the next time you see a new Naughty Dog or Santa Monica game or whatever, you'll be like, oh, I wish it could look like that. And it's like the consumer shit is always about 4 to 7 to 8 years behind where state of the art is. That's why it's called state of the art. So I'm just saying that if you're relying on Unreal 5,
what I'm trying to say is I'm not saying that. I'm not saying relying on Unreal 5. I'm saying basically like Gears 5 is their gameplay is fucking top notch. Halo,
yes,
no matter how much people talk shit about Halo, the gameplay, the way it feels when you're playing on
100%
on console and fucking PC feels top notch.
Yep.
I don't get that from like the one game that literally, because I hate the controller at Sony. I just fucking hate it. The only game that made me forget I was playing with a controller on PlayStation is God of War, the most recent one, because that gameplay was fucking amazing. So to me, this is why I've always been over at Xbox and basically enjoy their franchises and why they reminisce with me more. And I don't think they're B level to me. Like some of them, I get it. Some of them are like
production value. You can't argue production value. Production value is B level, not the games, not the quality of what you're playing.
Top
but the production
quality.
Value. It is. I mean, it is. I just gave you an example in Gears. The character, and I'm not saying that what Sony is doing is where I would prioritize. That's one of the other reasons I like what Phil is doing. Just like
when you play Horizon Forbidden West or Horizon Zero Dawn, Aloy's eyes are like cross-eyed and they're looking all over the fucking place.
Horizon Zero Dawn,
what the hell?
Blows away every
shit.
Not as a game. I haven't enjoyed the game yet. I promised people I'd give it another chance because I only played it for about 3 hours. But come on, man. There is a point where, I mean, again, it's subjective, but it's very hard to believe that you guys can look at
There's levels.
Microsoft stuff.
No, I mean,
and
we're
go,
literally agreeing with you that Sony
There's
have phenomenal
levels to
production
it.
value
No.
Right,
and
that's
do
all I'm talking
dominate
about.
one genre. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and I'm just talking production value. And if Microsoft wanted to do that, great. But I don't think they need to. I think what they are
I think
selling
they do. I think they do
is
need to
stronger.
compete.
They do need to.
I don't disagree
to
with
me,
what
gameplay is always on top. To me, gameplay, like we're talking
Everything's on
about
top. I
Horizon.
don't just want
Yeah,
gameplay. I don't just
I
want
mean,
yeah,
I'm
graphics.
not
I want
saying,
everything.
it's
like,
all
if-
encompassing.
there's some
Yeah.
stuff that, like, it's fine. Like, but for me, it's always
Riverbond,
like, if
bitch.
you don't have good gameplay, it's not going to matter. Like, Elden Ring is one of the greatest games ever made to me because the gameplay is so
Right.
fucking good.
I
And,
agree.
and there's like 2 cutscenes and not really a story, but to me, the world, the environment, everything about
does
it
what it
looks
does well.
fucking phenomenal. It does,
100%.
yeah.
And it does
kills
not look as good as Horizon.
But it would be better if it looked better.
No, it
Yeah,
wouldn't.
that's the whole thing. Imagine Elden Ring with the level of fidelity of fucking Horizon 5.
Horizon, yeah.
Hey,
I
Zucker,
guess maybe
Zucker,
being-
you
Imagine
want to
that.
great
Just
queue a few of
imagine
these
that.
up for me, buddy?
I guess
Yeah.
maybe being part of development has inoculated me from that. The idea of because I mean I remember sitting in a ballroom up in Foster City when Phil Harrison was showing the water off for PS2. And I was just out of, I was just getting into design. And I remember he said, because like Tomb Raider was big at the time, he's like, just imagine Lara Croft diving into that water. And we had seen it on PS1 and it looked like, you know what it looked like? It was like a fucking sheet that barely undulated. Well, we were all like, oh my God. And then all you have to do is be in the industry for a couple of generations and you start to realize that what you were coming all over is now bargain bin shit. And you're like, that stuff doesn't sustain, right? And so even when you're playing it, after a couple of hours, it wears off until you see a big wow moment.
Yeah,
And it's really about what the game is. And I'm not saying everything should be pixely and ugly, but I'm just saying that if you're going to put your time into something, worrying about this level of like obsessive detail and fidelity.
Yeah, like gameplay comes first.
I think
Yeah,
they're
of
just bigger
course,
things to put your money behind. That's all.
But that's
Yeah.
why I've always looked at, Sony games. For me personally,
Because they have
I'm
both
more
usually.
wowed by Sony exclusive games because they have that production value.
But they
And
also have the
because they
gameplay.
also have that gameplay as well. For most of their games. I'm not going to say all of them hit for me, but most of them do.
Right.
And that's what really draws a lot of people to their games.
Yes.
And there is levels to all of these development teams. I mean, we'd be liars if we said that, some of these development teams out there aren't better than others because it's just a fact. There are better.
Weren't we talking
teams out
about on your show though, Fonz? I mean, doesn't it seem almost like it's a dinosauric view? Because if you look at kids coming up today, I'm not saying there aren't kids that play console games. Of course there are, but they are, like I said earlier, Roblox, Fortnite, Among Us. They don't seem Minecraft. They
Yeah.
don't really seem to value that. So if you're a video game executive and you're trying to read the future in terms of where to spend your ducats, do you really look and go, even Sean Layden's like that budget isn't sustainable. And then you look at something like Fall Guys that I know has kind of fallen off, but it made its money back 1,000 times over.
Yeah,
Do you
crazy.
really think that's where you should be putting your energy if you're a Microsoft executive? Or do you go, the new generation doesn't seem to respond to that and we can make more
Yeah.
money anyway
I
by
think,
spending less?
as a consumer, though, it's hard for me to sit there and all I'm saying is the stuff that I want and fuck what makes the most money. And I think you as a creator
I understand,
can
but you
respect that.
can't do that as an Xbox. I'm talking about as an Xbox executive. If you're just talking personal,
Well, I think
of course I
Phil's
respect
harped on
that.
that quite a bit, though. Phil has literally gone into how they are going to be investing in a lot of these games. Not all of them are mainstream, and they need to actually do that to sustain Game Pass properly. Because when one thing's out, the other's not, and they need that audience that's constantly shifting.
They need
also
to have a good. They need to have a good balance, though. They need to have.
they do. They do. They
Which
need
is,
to,
you know,
they
most of
need
this is
to
common
have
sense.
the
I do wanna
production
They need
be
to
as
have
well.
some hardcore AAA games, and they need to have some of those games that appeal to the younger generation. Because he has a point. My son has a 3070 Ti here, and honestly, he pays Roblox the freaking most, and it.
And
pisses
guess
me
what?
off.
That's
It's
a
like, you got
third-party game
high-end
too,
rig,
though,
and
Dean. That's a third-party game, and not Microsoft don't got to take care, like Jaffe said, everybody, but let Roblox do the fucking Roblox the best, right? There's room for third parties to fill these gaps, and I think Xbox need to worry about their kind of direct competitor and what they need to work on better.
Either, but don't you think that they also need a balance of those high production?
They obviously do, and they obviously are.
Sure.
That's why they've gone into talking about Gears. They've gone into talking about some of these other games that are going to look phenomenal. I'm that's what I'm saying. We're going to wait and see, but I'm damn close to done saying that shit. It's kind of annoying. We got to shout out everybody watching live, guys. If you haven't, hit the like button, tell a buddy or two about the show. We're having a good old time, a lot of discussion here. Zalker, you got these queued up, and then we can kind of jump onto this.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Hargeet because a lot of the super chats disappear because I can't scroll up any further. So he's actually screenshotting them and sending me them on Discord.
Oh,
so
okay.
Hargeet, I got them all lined up here, dude. Thanks, Hargeet. You're the fucking man.
Hargeet's amazing.
Let me ask, what do you broadcast through? Are you using OBS?
Yes.
If you hook that up,
I can't.
If you hook it up to Streamlabs, they have a thing that keeps those in forever.
Oh.
So you can just have that up.
Is that what you were talking about, Fonz? Streamlabs?
He just went into private voice chat. He's like, "There's a dog in here. I gotta go." But yeah, if you do Streamlabs, it's just open up a window and it'll keep your super chats for months.
Yeah, but that'll be for him. I can't see it, so that's why I
got it.
So I
can make him pop up at the bottom though.
Yeah, so we got JR Poll. He says again, get Jaffe on more often. Lol, hashtag April O'Neil.
April O'Neil.
Goddamn right, sir.
April O'Neil from the first movie or the third movie?
Anyway.
April O'Neil from the fucking arcade game when I got a little baby boner watching her, when she was pixely. God damn it.
Hey,
I was like 14.
We got Burke.
I'll take it from the movie. I'll take the one Megan Fox though for sure.
All right, yeah. We got Burke Andy. Just wanted to send some love to everyone out there. RDX rocks.
Shout out to you, buddy.
We also got Yodani. He says, just want to say that the chat and all the Xbox shows has been fun as fuck. Despite the not good Xbox news lately, Xbox guys took a shot to the chin like a G.
Like a G. Did we really risk this, by the way? Remember for 2 months? Sub dealers.
Yeah, we read that already.
Okay,
we already read that. Yeah. Yeah, so we got Dark CMF says, sorry, running late. Please hit the reset button. Everyone in chat, hit the like button. Show the love.
Oh, shit. Shout out to you, Dark.
Yeah, so then we got Donataku. Have you seen Horizon Forbidden West and Ratchet & Clank foliage animation quality compared to something like Psychonauts 2 or Hivebusters? You can't. Sony doesn't cut corners on things that are easily noticeable.
I don't know, man. Hivebusters looks fucking incredible.
It does.
And the HDR is incredible.
Yeah,
that whole experience is incredible. It's like an intense fucking.
And 2.5 hours.
And two, you're talking about you're talking about games that Horizon Forbidden West is definitely newer. I'm looking forward to Xbox's next third-person open world game. Right, we'll see how that kind of looks, but I mean, we'll definitely give it a little bit of time. I think Xbox is going to surprise some people with some visuals.
Hargeet Chani says, Jaffe, I agree. I think like every engine upgrade, UE5 will just push even more higher end graphics and then increased dev time.
Well, that's the difference between UE5 and the others is it's automated more and more and more.
It's always been
but,
that.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I don't want to go into it. But
I'm just saying it's always, don't fall for the hype. It's always easy. It's always easier, and it should be, and it's wonderful, and that's not to be belittled, but it's not like we've arrived and now you can just make a game. It's always because you guys are demanding it. You're sitting here right now going, we want Xbox to raise the bar visually and production value. Well, it ain't coming from Unreal 5. It's going to come from proprietary engines.
I think it's going to come
Jaffe,
from.
I gotta disagree with you right here. That's the only thing I gotta disagree with you with, because I'm actually playing the community's creations of stuff that's being made in Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, it's great.
And these guys don't have. I don't want to disrespect them. They obviously got more skills than me because they're making this stuff, but they don't have the same type of level as a big studio. And the stuff that they're making inside of this and the amount of time they're making looks fantastic.
And we've had Halo Infinite developer on the show who talked about his game on Unreal Engine 4, right? And he was talking about, I don't want to get into all this stuff, but that's their goal. I'll say that, right? Am I allowed to say that?
I can see that. That makes sense.
All right, go ahead, Zach.
I got a shit ton. So we got Donataku. Also, Gears 5 is more impressive than any game on PS4 because it got close to games like The Last of Us 2 and God of War 2018 quality-wise, but at 60 FPS versus 30 FPS. If they built awesome. Gears 5 for 30 FPS instead, it would win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or you can just go max out the PC version. That's what you're getting on the Series X right now, and it looks crazy. Yeah, you're getting better than PC Ultra.
Yeah, we got Danny Passion official, Jaffe 25 million Game Pass subs with Halo, Gears, and Forza.
Yeah, should get better hopefully.
Yeah, we got Lucky Mo says you can't buy ribeye steak at McDonald's. Compare Game Pass to PlayStation Now.
Oh shit.
He says Butterball says is Jaffe on a podcast tour? ?
Yes, he is.
We got Freddie Fox. Yo, Jaffe. Just said Sony would never allow that eye problem in Horizon Forbidden West. Alloy's eyes off in cutscenes amid it had to be patched. This guy is capping.
Well,
Stop.
read the second to last sentence. What are you saying?
It had to be patched.
It got patched, didn't it, bitch?
Oh shit.
It got fixed. Where's the patch for the eye popping bullshit in Gears? Don't come at me like I don't know what I'm talking about.
My grandma's eyeballs. These things suck. Hey, go ahead and continue.
I got
Zucker.
3. I got 4 more. So Sosa says Metal Gear, Silent Hill, Tekken, DMC, etc. Run PS1, PS2, and PS3 until The Last of Us, Uncharted 4, God of War 2018, Ghost of Tsushima. Sony had a trash first party until PS4. I don't know about that, man. God of War was fucking fire. So that's just me. So we got Hargeet Chani says if we're going to count Returnal, we have to count Flight Sim, which is incredible.
It was a 90+ meta.
Yeah. We got Hargeet again. He says Elden Ring with higher fidelity would take years more to make. Don't care about the production value. Gameplay content from software did it right.
Yep. Agreed.
Donataku, graphics are a cherry on top. Rise and The Order 1886 were some of the best looking games ever, but they are mediocre games because of the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I agree too. We got G-Bone. He says the games are coming. It just takes time. I'm tired of hearing that.
I'm sick. Yeah, fuck that shit.
Oh, fuck. Hey,
I mean, I understand G-Bone, but I'm just saying we're tired of hearing that.
Hey, fuck these guys, G-Bone. I got your back.
Just because that works, G-Bone, and keeps your wife around, I won't hit you anymore. I promise.
Stop it.
That's,
Hey,
I'm not trying to trigger anybody, but
G-Bone
that's what it starts to sound like. Just a little more time. Shut up. A little more time.
Hey, we do.
How much fucking time
we
do you need?
do gotta say that Phil Spencer came out and he talked about, hey, why they delayed the shit, and he basically said, well, fuck. They need more time, and we want to deliver on quality, and ultimately, I can't say I'm mad at that. I got to fucking end the show because we're running long. Jedi Star Wars Fallen Survivor, the new name of the fucking game. If you're excited for Jedi Survivor, I'm excited. It was this is a sequel to Fallen Order, correct? So
They announced it today?
I think that's coming from Jeff Grubb. He's saying the title for the next Jedi Star Wars Fallen Order game is Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to it.
Before you end the show, though, I do want to read this quote from this Xbox high-level guy. I promised him I'd read it in its entirety.
Does it say "fuck Sony, Xbox forever"?
No. It's you'll know who it was, but I can't tell you the person's name. But it's it's a legit thing.
Gotcha.
So whenever you're ready, just let me know.
But
now okay. I didn't want to interrupt. Okay, you were just saying you were going to end the show, so I want to make sure before you end it. All right. He says, I was bummed to read / hear your takedown of Phil. He has been an incredible breath of fresh air compared to the outrageous and cruel antics of executives, publishers we've had to deal with. God of War 3 and Horizon Zero Dawn took 7 years. Development takes longer than we want. Phil is bright, dedicated. He's a true gamer, and he gives the best support of any organization I've ever dealt with. Anyway, I wanted to share my firsthand knowledge of working with him, and that's not it. And I wanted to share a point of view. So there you go.
Well, we appreciate that because that's he's saying it right there. Hey, games do take a while to develop, and they just inherited a lot of stuff too. So
there's no crunch over at Microsoft whatsoever.
No, that's a problem.
There's a bag of Sun Chips. Hey, Zucker, we got one more from Riskit, and we can close the show down.
Riskit says, Jaffe, you're a legend, but Ratchet & Clank is better looking than Hellblade. Are you doing what Dealer says?
He said
I'll
smoking
respect,
crack.
I'll respect, but your eyes are failing with age.
Oh,
Well,
shit.
at least I'm not racist, bitch.
Oh, fuck.
Jesus Christ.
He can say you're smoking crack. It's okay, Jeffy.
I know. I need to go back and look at Hellblade. I saw Hellblade 2 at their thing last year. And
Also,
I remember
4K
going,
upload, not the
I
live
remember
one.
going, okay, oh, that looks pretty cool, but I wasn't like, oh my God. But yeah, I'll look at it again.
Yeah, it looks incredible, and that's like compressed the fuck. And that was actual gameplay to remove the HUDs apparently. So it looks absolutely phenomenal. By the way, this fucking game still looks incredible. Star Wars Battlefront 2,
It does.
And this
I
is
saw you. I saw that's like old gameplay with me and you were fucking
it is,
shit up.
and Obi's in here. And I wanted to show this because it just never fails, man. You want to see some good looking shit. Like this running on Xbox One X at the time. Still looks incredible. But again, guys, let us know your thoughts. Shout out to over 1,300 people that tuned in tonight. We do appreciate you. Thanks for making us one of the biggest Xbox podcasts in the history of the world. Hit the like button if you haven't, and tell a buddy or two about the show. Because as as many of you guys that do tune in, there's so many more that don't even know we fucking exist. So we appreciate you very much. Of course, check the Discords, the patrons. I'm going to be doing the giveaway information this week, and just be sure you are in the right place for checking those sites because I'll be doing that soon. We're going to be doing some giveaways soon as well. So in a month or two, we're giving away an Xbox Series X, thanks to Dark CMF. And we're going to be giving away some more games as well. So thanks for everything you guys do once again. Do some outros. D-Batch, buddy, what have you been playing, and where can people find you?
I've been playing a lot of games on my Steam Deck. Really loving that system, man. It's so cool. Also, I'm playing some Unreal Engine 5 stuff, like I alluded to earlier, and I'm having a blast just playing around with these little demos. You guys can find me on Twitter at D_Batch, and of course on YouTube at DBatch. And I should have some videos coming out this week. I know I kind of took a break, the Rona break and then the break before that, but I should have some stuff coming out this week. And it was a great show. Thanks for coming on, Jaffe. And
thanks.
I'll see you guys next week.
We've also got Fonzarelli, buddy. How you been? We know this is your last week for a little bit, man. How long are you gonna be gone?
Not for sure. Hopefully get back sometime next month, maybe at the end of the month. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll get back as soon as possible. Until then, it's I don't know, man. I'm just going dark for a while, so
Dark fun,
guys. Eventually. So it was great to be here tonight. Great to have the great David Jaffe in the house. It was a lot of fun.
Definitely. And enjoy crawling back into your sleeping bag with your warm milk and stuff.
Oh man, it was a rough day at work.
Yeah. Well, we'll miss you, buddy. Definitely. We'll have somebody fill in next week. We've also got Zauker87. How you been? And what you been playing?
Good, man. Been playing a shit ton of games. You guys find me on Twitter, Zauker87, YouTube, Zauker87. Beat Trek to Yomi in like one sitting. That was cool. Been playing a lot of like Rocket League and Apex Legends, ranking up in Apex because their new season dropped, which is fucking fun. Playing a lot of strategy games also, like Battle Sector and Rift Breaker and stuff like that on Game Pass. Game Pass is so fucking great. Just been doing that. Jaffe, thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. Freaking
thanks for having me.
Crazy show, man. A lot of fun, and I laughed a lot, and it's cool to hang out with a crazy son of a bitch.
It's good to know he's a dog fucker as well. It's good.
I mean, hey.
I filmed it.
Whoa, he filmed it. He filmed it.
Seriously, no, shout out to David Jaffe, creator of God of War. Guy's a legend. We've done a show before. Always having a blast. None of this stuff is to be taken literally, or don't even say it, Jaffe. Yeah, it is. I'm just saying, it's a blast, and everybody that actually gave the show a shot and listened. Thank you guys for checking us out, because you can know where to follow David Jaffe. Tell them where they can follow you.
You can follow me on Twitter at David. Well, I've been playing a lot. I've been playing Rogue Legacy 2. I played a wonderful game that's on Steam called Nightmare of Decay, which is like a first-person Resident Evil. It's very low graphic, but it's delightful. It only costs you $6. I've been playing tons of Elden Ring. I'm playing WWE 2K22. I'm prepping for Jaffe Mania, where I have video game designers like Kojima fighting people like Gabe Newell. We have we will have executives like Phil Spencer will be there. We'll see if he beats the fuck out of Jimbo Ryan. That is coming up soon. I paid a guy who's good at this stuff to actually make those characters. I've got like 15 video game characters in terms of executives and designers and stuff. So I've been playing that in preparation for that. Loot River I've been playing on Game Pass, which is phenomenal. I play and a bunch of Hearthstone, just a collective shit ton of stuff. And you can find me at David Scott Jaffe on Twitter, or if you go to YouTube, I have a show called Gabbin' Games. Just Google myself, just YouTube David Jaffe or Gabbin' Games, and in there we stream almost every day. Sometimes it's a show which is news, other times it's games. We do movie nights. Sometimes I just go and smoke a bunch of pot and we just turn on the phone, people call in. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll find you over there at Gabbin' and Games. But I do very much appreciate all you guys having me on this television radio show, whatever this fucking thing is. Very much appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me on. It's been fun.
Of course. Yeah,
man.
Thanks for coming on and doing your thing, man. Obviously, chat, follow David Jaffe, good guy, and does have a ton of perspective. It was cool hearing about, some of the deals and how some of that stuff worked. And just, again, you were a great guest. I got you tagged as basically somebody who can jump in here and talk anytime you want. So let's say I ask you to come on in a month or 2 months or 6 months or whenever.
Anytime you want me, I'm here.
Awesome.
I'm around.
Well, I appreciate you, man. And again, chat, let us know your thoughts. Hit the like button, and of course, support everybody here. Check out my last video if you missed it. Shout out to all the super chat crazy motherfuckers out there, as well as all the patrons and everyone else, channel members, all that stuff. I'll see you guys in the Discord. We're out.
Later, everybody.
Nice. That's it. We're done.
Yes, sir.
It's a wrap.
Awesome.